Your appliances. Call them today at 314-500-LEAK. That's Beast.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. A school shooting in Georgia. I'm Lisa Brady. Reports of multiple casualties and a suspect in custody, but no details yet after a shooting at Appalachia High School northeast of Atlanta in Barrow County.
This is a high school, 9 through 12, about 1,900 students involved. And as this shooting went on, most of those students were moved to the football field area.
Fox's Steve Harrigan, multiple law enforcement agencies investigating.
We have the FBI, the Georgia State Police, as well as local police, a huge presence of police. Just days into the start of the school year, already a shooting about 40 miles from Atlanta.
Again, there are casualties reported, but the extent of injuries is not confirmed. Also, no confirmation of any deaths. Sheriff's officials also not releasing any details yet about the suspect or how that person was taken into custody. The White House says President Biden has been briefed on the shooting. The U.S. is set to accuse Russia of more election meddling with a disinformation campaign targeting this year's presidential race. An announcement expected this afternoon.
The Attorney General will be joined by the Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco and FBI Director Christopher Wray. They're meeting for an election threats task force meeting. They do this fairly frequently, especially leading up to the election. But we are told that there will be an announcement today involving a criminal complaint and Russian entities connected to Russia.
Fox's David Spunt in Washington. Vice President Kamala Harris campaigns in New Hampshire today, focusing on small business proposals, while former President Trump is in Pennsylvania for a Fox News town hall at 9 Eastern tonight. Just getting word of an incident under investigation at the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., where an embassy spokesperson says a suspicious object was thrown into the yard. No reports of injuries or damage to the building. The Secret Service says law enforcement is at the scene. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
That summertime feel is back. 88 for the highs. We go through our Wednesday afternoon. Sunshine in control. Tonight, mostly clear. 80s this evening, 69 for the low. Thursday, sunny up to 90. A cool front coming by late Thursday night. Maybe a spot thunderstorm. Tough to find, but we're ahead of that front much of the night. Friday, partly sunny and cooler. 81, 70s, and sunshine for the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes. and rebuild lives.
Outdoor living redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck, or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
Home values are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest TrueHold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? TrueHold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. TrueHold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much TrueHold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Nachos! Hey, I'll take some. And some Frank's Red Hot. Nah. You're just gonna eat these boring nachos with no flavor. Frank it up! Frank it up! This guy finally gets it.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. We are grateful that you're spending a little bit of your beautiful Wednesday afternoon with us here in St. Louis. If you're listening at the top of the hour here on 97.1 FM Talk, you heard the breaking news of the last hour. And I'll just get you up to date here. I'm going to tell you there's been a school shooting in Georgia, and we are going to follow the story over the course of the show, and we'll bring you, if there's a press conference, I don't know the timeline on this right now, we'll bring you the updates of what is going on in Georgia, but I want to make sure that I start the show off here with the facts that we know. Fox News reports a shooting at a high school in north central Georgia has temporarily put the building on lockdown as authorities respond to the scene. Law enforcement confirmed multiple casualties at Appalachia High School in Barrow County, Georgia on Wednesday. According to the county sheriff's office, at approximately 10:23 a.m., officers from multiple law enforcement agencies and fire EMS personnel were dispatched to the high school in reference to a reported active shooting. At the time of this release, one suspect is in custody. Casualties have been reported. However, details on the number of their conditions is not available at the time. Footage from the scene shows first responders rendering aid to individuals outside the school, as well as dozens of police officers surrounding the perimeter. The FBI has also acknowledged that they are aware of the unfolding situation. The governor of Georgia, we're familiar with him, talk about him on the show in a different capacity. This is where the governorship responsibility really comes to the foreground. He said, I have directed all available state resources to respond to the incident at Appalachia High School and urge all Georgians to join my family in praying for the safety of those in our classrooms, both in Barrow County and across the state. We will continue to work with local, state, federal partners as we gather information and further respond to the situation. Fox News also just reported on television the president has been briefed. We haven't had a school shooting for a little bit. These things continue to happen. It is going to be politicized, of course, as these things are. There's a lot that is predictable about what happens next. But specifically on this show, and I'm sad to say that We've had to report on these and cover these as they've unfolded. My way of handling this for you is to make sure that you are informed, and I'm never diving headfirst into the political conversation surrounding these issues while we're still gathering facts. So we will wait for the facts to be gathered and reported on. As of this point right now, there is no press conference scheduled. I believe that they are still securing the area. And so when that press conference is called, if it happens during our show, we will be sure to bring that to you, at least so that we can get the basis understanding of the facts of the matter. So I just want to make sure that we start the show off with that very important news, because that is headline news right now, of course, and we do pray for those who are waiting. I can't imagine. I mean, my entire life is in a school right now. My husband, my all four of my children, they are all in schools right now. And it is shocking to me each and every time that this is a reality, that you can't go to school and feel safe. It is very sad. I know that we're going to shift gears here a little bit. There is a Trump, is it a town hall with Sean Hannity tonight?
Yes, I believe it is a town hall.
But it's in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
I think that these opportunities is where Donald Trump really shines. I think that when Donald Trump gets to talk to real people, as I've stated before and will continue to state again, Donald Trump's opponent in this race is the caricature that has been painted of him by people who hate him, who have a vested interest in him losing. And when Donald Trump gets the opportunity to speak to people, not to reporters, not to agenda-driven media outlets on both sides of the aisle. I mean, I've seen Donald Trump sit down with Sean Hannity, and Sean Hannity basically holds his hand through the entire interview as much as anybody can try to hold. Donald Trump is usually disinterested in it. And when they're having this conversation, it's just one ball on the tee question after the other for Donald Trump. I mean, like, objection, leading the witness. The thing about those types of interviews for me is Trump doesn't need that. Trump doesn't need the interviewer to formulate the question in a way that really sets him up for a nice soft landing, which is what Dana Bash did on CNN for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I actually really prefer when an interviewer, and there aren't very many that, well, there are some. There really aren't many interviewers that can sit down with Donald Trump where I feel like there is no political bias injected in it. And, I don't need to sit down and watch. I will watch it, to sit down and watch Sean Hannity interview Trump or Laura Ingraham interview Trump. I'm interested in a Brett Baer interview of him. I'd be interested in some CNN ones. But it's like if the bias in that interview is so strong going into it, I can't get raw Trump out of it. And when we get raw Trump, we get the best of Donald Trump. Not combative Donald Trump. I know a lot of people love combative Donald Trump. I don't hate him like some of y'all do, but I don't need it. I don't need to see Donald Trump winning fights with people in order to be like, that's my guy. What I am interested in Donald Trump as the next president of the United States is his policy on the economy, is his policy on business, is his policy on securing the border, is his policy on my right as a parent to make sure that I'm parenting my child exactly the way that my husband and I together see fit. My rights as an American citizen, the agreement and understanding and focus that America is the greatest nation on the face of the earth and that we need to fortify and protect the greatest nation on the face of the earth before we embellish our spoils anywhere else on the face of the planet. That America first is a mentality that makes us not only America first, but America the great, because we can then bless other areas in the world because we have focused on America first. So essentially, yeah, it's his policies that I see that I am 100% signed on. There are moments, I know that it causes a few of you to start to feel that chafe in those parts that really steal your focus away from the actual issue of what's going on. But when I see Donald Trump walking to place wreath after wreath at Arlington National Cemetery with the 13 Gold Star families that are represented there because they asked him to be there and he answered the call to support those families, that tugs at my heartstrings. But it tugs at my heartstrings in a more political sense because the commander-in-chief should be the one who is there. At worst, the vice president of the United States, and the fact that they choose to not acknowledge those individuals and then in turn try to do some sort of magic trick where they are like, we're responsible for the decision that created these Gold Star families. They died on our watch. We've denied the fact that their lives matter in our administration's mind because we say we haven't lost anybody, which just in that debate, man, that was the worst thing that came out of that debate is Joe Biden saying that he hasn't lost anybody. You've denied their actual existence. You created these Gold Star families, and then you deny their actual existence. You do not show up to support their families in their time of mourning, in their great sacrifice. And then you come around at the end and be like, but Donald Trump's making this political. No. Your absence is the most politically strong message of them all. It does feel political to me, but when I see Donald Trump present with those families, it shows me what his values are. And a lot of people think that his values are trying to make a political statement. And the truth of the matter is, you can think that. I can't stop you from thinking that. I don't even want to invest the time in trying to convince you otherwise because there's no possible way that I could. But what I do know is that Donald Trump cares about those individuals, and he chose to show up for those individuals even though he knew that politically the fallout could be maybe complicated for him because he knows that there's a large portion of the media that doesn't support anything that he does and thinks that he crawled out of hell to come rule America. And it's just not how I see it. When Donald Trump goes and does a town hall like he's going to do tonight, and he's going to be speaking to people in Pennsylvania, smart. When he goes to do that and he gets to interact with people, I think we get the closest understanding of who Donald Trump really is. And for people who despise him, will they tune in to watch this? Will they listen to what he has to say? Have they predetermined that everything he breathes is a lie, is deceitful? Some of them might. But the economy is not doing well for enough people for those individuals to not look at their options right now in this election and say, I think I know where Kamala Harris is going with this. It's more of the same, if not extra of the same. And, I've heard all this about Donald Trump, but my 401k, my checking account, my savings account, my ability to pay my bills, my income to expense ratio was much more in my favor when Donald Trump was the president of the United States. I wonder what he has to say tonight. And you tune in and you get to hear Trump, hopefully, talking to these people and not being completely managed by Sean Hannity. I'm just like, be quiet. Stop talking. Let Trump do it. I think it's a very smart move, and I think he should do as many of these opportunities. He should do it with CNN. He should do it with MSNBC, should he get the opportunity to do that. And I think the American people will have the opportunity to see this man for who he is. And if he handles himself in a positive way, he puts one more crack in the facade that has been created, that caricature around him to try to make him the evil villain cartoon character that they need him to be because the Kamala Harris campaign strategy is that they aren't Trump. YouTube live chat poll for today is grade the Trump campaign strategy so far. This is yesterday's poll was to grade the Harris campaign strategy so far. We need to know what you think about how Trump's campaign is doing at this point. So if you go to the Any Fry YouTube channel, you will see that poll. It's in the live chat portion, and you can grade A, B/C, D, or F. And let us know what you think. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to keep our eye on this tragic story in what looks like Winder, Georgia. I was saying Barrow County earlier. And we will update you on the school shooting that took place there as we get more details. Let's speak next to Kayleigh McEnany, one of our favorite guests here on the Annie Fry Show. Kayleigh McEnany when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
So I want to talk to you about Lutheran education and how this is a much, it's the best option for many, many kids out there who are looking for something a little bit different than the public option that they have been to before, maybe a different parochial opportunity or private school. I want you to make sure that Lutheran elementary schools are in your mix, that you are considering them. You might not have heard of them. You might think, oh, Lutheran schools, Catholic schools, parochial schools, they're all the same. They're not. They're different for very important, reasonable reasons. Lutheran elementary schools are an affordable alternative. They are top-notch when it comes to education. They have a faith-based, family values-based foundation for your child or for your grandchild to learn in. They focus on STEM education. They have an immense amount of extracurriculars, athletics, music, science, robotics, all of this. They offer your child or your grandchild so many things in an environment that you can trust. And I say this as somebody who went to Lutheran schools, went to a Lutheran high school, and worked to send my kids to a Lutheran school. Consider this opportunity for your family. The website is lisastl.org/Annie, LESASTL.org/Annie. I want you to just go look at it. Just go check it out and understand that a conversation will make this accessible for you, for your family member, your child, or your grandchild. Have the conversation. Don't overlook it, and you can still enroll. LESASTL.org/Annie.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. We are watching the Georgia school shooting news as it is being reported at Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia. And we will bring you news on that as it continues to develop. I want to get to our guest. Excited to have Kayleigh McEnany back with us, the co-host of Outnumbered on Fox, a former White House press secretary, and she is author of Serenity in the Storm. Kayleigh, I had plans for our conversation today, but you're a mom and I'm a mom, and you wrote a book about Serenity in the Storm, and we are being confronted once again this morning with another school shooting that feels a lot like a storm.
Yeah, Annie, indeed it does. And it's so sad that every mom in America, every dad in America, every sibling in America has to think about this. You know, my mind last week went to, we're about to go back to school. You know, I pray that our students are safe. And this happens all too often. It's heartbreaking to cover. You know, we pray for all of those families impacted. We know that there are casualties at this moment. You know, we don't know exactly what that looks like. We know at least people have been wounded, and we pray that no one has passed away from this tragic incident. But you know, as I think about this, you know, I think about not just covering it from a news perspective, but also how to fix it. And something I've been very passionate about for a long time is passing Marsha Blackburn's legislation that would provide security in all of our schools, hardening our schools, making them safer, serving as a deterrent. And I bring it up every time one of these happens, because it's time for everyone to get in a room, you know, Republican, Democrat, no matter your leanings, and talk about how to protect our students. We know that so many of these shooters articulate their threat beforehand, their plans beforehand. They tell a friend or, you know, a family member. We need to figure out how to stop this. And it means coming together and working together as adults to protect America's children.
Yes, amen to that. I mean, of all things, invest in, I think that we should be able to get behind that. You know, when I see these school shootings, we don't know the details. We don't know about the shooter. We don't know the whys, and we should be looking into that. But there's such a consistency on a broader look right now with young people in America and depression and isolation, and you know, their access to screens and the lack of focus on communication with people face to face. And my oldest is 14. He started high school today. My youngest is 3. And I'm even seeing in that spectrum the difference in the way that they're accessing technology. And I'm just curious, as a mom, like, what do you look out for? Yours are younger, I know that, but what do you look out for when you're covering these things, the mental health crisis that youth have in our country right now? It gets politicized real fast, but the mental health part seems to be left behind the politics of it pretty quickly.
Absolutely. And, you know, when we look at these, what we see, you know, as I noted, that when you look at data, I was looking at FBI data just in the last 30 minutes that said there are at least 4 or 5 concerning signs with each of these school shooters every time before it happens. And to your point, we don't know if this is even a student who did this. We have no clue at this moment who this perpetrator is. We know they're in custody reportedly. But, you know, when you think about the Ethan Crumley shooting that happened at Oxford High School, and you see that he drew a picture beforehand that was pretty vivid about his intent, and it's so vivid that an administrator or a teacher brought it to a principal and the parents were called in. And you see this and you think, you know, gosh, could something have prevented that if the parents spoke up? If the parents said, hey, we know he has a weapon. We purchased him a weapon in the days before. That was the fact pattern in Oxford High School. There are so many red flags that go unnoticed. But to your point, you know, beyond just stopping those red flags, you get to the deeper point, which to exactly what you said. It's social media. It's a depression. It's an angst among young people. And what that is rooted in is a lack of identity. And for a lot of these kids, you know, we teach our children that your identity is in Christ Jesus. We go to church. They know they are loved, not just by their parents, but they're loved by their Creator. And you've got to think, if we got back to some of those family traditions of faith and love and putting that before social media, that some of these depressions that are at the root, not just of violence like this, but suicides and real existential health problems for our young women and young men as well. If we got back to faith and family, it would go a long way to solving really the root of this entire problem.
Amen to that. We're speaking with Kayleigh McEnany, co-host of Outnumbered on Fox. She is also the former White House press secretary, as many of you recognize her from. Kayleigh, I want to shift gears out of the news coming out of Georgia and a clean segue here into the campaign, the politics of the matter. Tonight, we're going to see Donald Trump in Pennsylvania on a Hannity town hall. I think that this is where Donald Trump shines when he talks to real people. And I've been saying that Donald Trump's main opponent in this race is the caricature that has been made of him. You know him on a very personal level. Who Donald Trump has made out to be versus the man that he really is. How much of a difference is there between those two understandings of who Donald Trump is?
Oh, a wide chasm of a difference, for sure. Look, I understand people don't like the way that, Trump tweets at times or the names he uses, and I understand all of that. But what they don't realize is who the person is. And the person I saw behind the scenes was someone who not just cared about our country, he absolutely cares about our country, loves our servicemen and women, also just on a personal level, like loved me as a mom and encouraged me to be with my family. And I remember one night late on Marine One, he said, next weekend, why are you here? Next weekend you need to go be with your family. It's important that you spend time with your kids. And he was someone who deeply cared on a personal level those who worked for him. And I know that was an extension of really his love for our country. Those are two very different images, the one in the media and the Trump that I know. And, I think on the debate stage, getting to show a little bit of that other side is going to be a really big moment for him next week. Getting to show kind of what we saw on the debate stage with Joe Biden, just this calm, serene leader who led our country for 4 great years. And unfortunately, we had COVID there at the end, which is a hard time for our country. But when you look back, they really were years of economic prosperity and a lot of success.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are reflecting on that at this point in time. I mean, the counterpart here with Kamala Harris, I mean, we're supposed to believe that Donald Trump could never understand what it's like to be a Midwesterner here in St. Louis, Missouri, middle class income, trying to raise a family and just kind of get through the day and pay for the groceries and pay for the gas. We're supposed to look at Kamala Harris and think that she's more able to understand who we are. And she's not even really willing to make that case to the American people by avoiding the media with great success so far. Do you think during that debate next week that she is going to show us anything that she hasn't continued to show us leading up to that point? You think we're going to have any surprises?
We may. And I say that because, number one, you are exactly right. She is trying to script her way to the presidency. Teleprompters. She had the one interview with CNN. That's one interview and, however many days. It's really extraordinary. Very few off-the-cuff moments. The first presidential debate for her with President Trump will be next week. But here's, one thing that I think the campaign should do, and I do notice the Kamala Harris campaign doing this. David Plouffe, who worked for Obama, is now a senior advisor to Kamala Harris, came out and said, look, Trump has done, I forget how many presidential debates, he said 6 or 7, and we fully expect to be the underdog, and this is going to be a tough fight. They're really trying to downplay expectations, and I think it's something the Trump campaign should do too, because for all the times we see Kamala Harris in these unscripted situations where she has these odd moments where she uses the same words over and over, a lot has changed since then. I believe she's undergone media training. I don't think she's going to totally flop on the debate stage. So I think the Trump campaign should set the bar and say, look, we know she's had media training. We're going to see a different Kamala Harris. But the Kamala Harris that you're voting for is the Kamala Harris that's going to make you poorer, that's going to tax you more, that's going to open our borders and go through each and every policy detail. But I think the debate expectation setting game is very important leading up to that day.
I think you're spot on with that. Last question before we let you go, and we're really grateful for your time. We're speaking with Kayleigh McEnany. Just going back to that Dana Bash interview, you're a communications expert. You're one of the very best at it. What did you think about the setup of them sitting around this kind of awkward table, Dana Bash in the foreground, Tim Walz just silently, weirdly sitting there on the left, and Kamala Harris, she looked half the size of the other two behind a table. It certainly didn't come off as powerful to me.
Annie, it was so odd. I mean, first of all, to have, I guess Walz was just there for support. I mean, he was asked, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was like 3 questions.
Yeah.
So you have this, 20-minute interview, and he's asked 3 questions. It was very awkward, very odd. For all I say about the media training she's undergone, I really don't understand why, if you're so vastly improved and you're so ready for this debate, you wouldn't just have a one-on-one interview. She had that horrible moment with Lester Holt where she said, I haven't been to the border, I haven't been to Europe either. Maybe she was afraid of a repeat, or, maybe there's some fear there. I don't know. But the whole look of it was odd. The oddest part was having Tim Walz sit to your right hand, your running mate, and your co-interviewer is what I've been calling him.
Yeah, it was bizarre. And the questions that he asked were like 2/3 into the interview. It's, what are you doing there? It's bizarre. Kayleigh, thank you.
He must have felt odd too.
Yeah, it was weird. Thank you for being with us. We love watching you on Fox and always tune in, and you have such wise things to say. So thank you for sharing some of your time with us this afternoon.
You as well, Annie. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Former White House press secretary, author of Serenity in the Storm. I've read her book. She is a wonderful writer. Her first book that she wrote really details the time that she served as press secretary as a new and young mother and interactions with President Trump and the administration. It's a really, really great gift. If you're somebody who has an affinity for Kayleigh McEnany, you appreciate what she's done, what she says, or her contributions there on Fox, check out her book. It's a good read. Kayleigh McEnany on the Annie Fry Show. Let's dip in here real quick. They just held a press conference in a very brief one to give us some updates. So let's listen into George's. It's the police that were giving this press conference, and listen into what they had to say.
My name is Sheriff Judge Smith. I'm the sheriff of Bear County Sheriff's Office. We're standing on the campus of Appalachia High School here at Bear County Schools. First and foremost, I want to lift up our community. I want to give our sympathies to our community, our school system, our kids, our parents that had to witness this today. Obviously, what you see behind us is an evil thing today. At about 9:30 this morning, we received the first call that there was an active shooter on this campus. We're not releasing any information as far as injuries, but we have multiple injuries. This is a very, very fluid investigation. It's very early. And I have asked the assistance of the GBI and the agencies here behind me today, and there are multiple agencies that responded this morning to help us and help the sheriff's office. We do have a suspect in custody, and we are asking for your patience as the media to please let us get the facts that we need to make sure we get this right. Again, I've asked the GBI to help us, the sheriff's office, to help us along with this. I know this is not what you want to hear, but I'm not going to answer questions after this is over with. But I wanted to give you the respect and our community respect to let them know what was going on initially. We're in the process of reunifying our students with their parents. Obviously, that's chaotic, but we want to be respectful of them and their privacy as well. I want to thank the state, the federal agencies, the local agencies that showed up today, as you can see, the multiple EMS and fire from other agencies that responded today. Again, I ask that you lift up Bear County Schools, lift up Appalachia, lift up our agencies. This is going to take multiple days for us to get answers as to what happened and why this happened. But I wanted to give you a statement. It is our hope, in conjunction with these people behind us, that we can give you another statement around 4 o'clock, because I know you have to go back on the air. That is my hope. But I wanted to be fluid with you all, understanding that it's fluid as well with this investigation. I appreciate you being patient with us. Again, it's very active and is ever developing. Every minute is developing on what we're finding. So we're going to have releases from other schools. Again, we ask that you be patient with us. Please be patient with us. And hopefully I can give you more information, or more better information, as you will, if you will, this afternoon. Thank you all for coming out here. We'll be back shortly, okay?
Sheriff, it's been widely reported that people are dead. Is that true?
I'm not releasing any information. We have multiple injuries.
Can you say if the person in custody is an adult or a juvenile?
I'm not releasing any information. Guys, I'm not going to answer any more questions this time, okay? Thank you.
So that's the sheriff. His name is Judge Smith, and he is from Barrow County, Georgia. And, I mean, he basically did the due diligence of speaking to the media to kind of set the stage, but not a lot of details there. We will continue to monitor this, and as more information comes through, we will address it. It looks like the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, is speaking on this right now. We will give that a listen on our own and see if it's something that we need to bring to you as the day progresses. So we will keep you updated on the facts. Not really terribly interested at this point without facts and getting into a conversation about this being another situation like others, because we don't know if it was like others. We have no idea what we're dealing with yet. So let's just wait for the facts, you say? All right, a quick break. When we come back, we're going to just shift into Wiggins America here for a second. And let me just read to you what Ryan sent to Brad and to me. It says, I'm very excited to discuss this with you today. And the headline is 6 signs that your coworkers don't like you. So I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll find out. In Wiggins America next. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I want to talk to you about Cassens & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. CassensCan.com. That's CassensCan.com. Go to the website and start your car buying process, or continue your car buying process right there on that website. Cassens is ready to take your business, ready to take your phone call, ready to help you start that process, or we've been in both instances with Cassens. When we bought our minivan, I had probably been looking at Chrysler Pacificas for at least a year. It might have been 2 years, because we had a van. We were riding it out until it wouldn't go anymore, and then one day it wouldn't go anymore. And so I was prepared to make that purchase. I knew what I wanted, and Cassens had been along with us through that process, never being pushy, never being aggressive, helping us answer our questions and making sure we got a great price on a great vehicle that I'm still driving today. And we bought that car in 2019. The other situation was when my husband hit the deer. If you listen to the show a lot, you heard us talk about that. Hit the deer, it busted the radiator, totaled the car that we were driving before. So we had to buy a car pretty quickly. And I said to my husband, and he was absolutely in agreement, we're going to Cassens to buy this car. Because we knew when we were in a hurry that we needed to go to somewhere we could trust. Because time was not on our side. We needed to be in the hands of people who were going to respect us and give us a fair price on a great vehicle that we could drive our family around in. And for us, there was no question we go to Cassens. Their service department, second to none. The vehicles that they have on their lot, or the vehicles they will work to match you with, you are in the right hands with Cassens. 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712. Visit them online at CassensCan.com.
If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
12 amazing children and one special evening. The Night of Rock Stars is an event that's sole purpose is to give special needs children an experience they'll never forget by treating them like celebrities. This is Annie, and I'll be emceeing the Night of Rock Stars on September 27th. Join us by visiting 971talk.com/events. It's a great night, including dinner, live auction, and a ton of fun. We celebrate Night of Rock Stars for this month's Conservatives Care. 971talk.com/events.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Dell's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Yesterday, we asked you to grade the Harris Walls campaign. Today, we're asking you to grade the Trump campaign strategy so far. A through F, those are your choices on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. You go to YouTube, you type in Annie Fry, the live stream will come up, and so will that poll. That's how you participate. And you can leave a comment there, too. 1244, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Cox Morning Show is going live to Eureka the morning of September 11th in support of the Focus Marines Foundation. Go to 971talk.com/events to find out more. We'll see you live at Chicken Ellie's September 11th with the Mark Cox Morning Show.
I'm sleeping and right in the middle of a good dream. Like all at once I wake up from something that keeps knocking at my brain. Before I go insane, I hold my pillow to my head and spring up in my bed, screaming out the words I dread. I think I love you.
Wiggins! Oh!
Wiggins! It's kind of an appropriate song.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
I think I love you.
Is that a new bump song for us? I don't think I've heard that on the Annie Fry
probably
Show.
Not.
I like it.
So we have this. I have this library of songs. Are there more than 700 or 800 songs in this library?
I couldn't give you an exact number, but it's up there. There's
up
a
there.
ton.
But I mean, it's accumulative over not just 2018 when I started Middays, but 2016. I curated all that music, and if you can't tell, I love the 90s, the 2000s.
David Cassidy's.
Mm-hmm. Was that?
I think that was the Partridge Family or the Brady Bunch. I don't remember which one.
It's the Partridge Family, I believe.
Is it? Okay.
But we curate all these songs, and every once in a while, you'll remember this, Ryan. Brad was a listener then. Ryan, you were on the show then. But during COVID, you started doing dedications to people.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Good times.
People could write in and dedicate a song, and you would do a dedication that sounded a little bit like
this one goes out to Merrick Garland. Love that you are talking about election integrity, my friend.
Yeah.
For your choice, we have Celine Dion. Yeah. Or whatever.
That's pretty much the way that would go. So we have some of these songs that people that you got basically when you did that, you got it into my library.
Yeah.
And we've done over the course of years different other segments that have involved songs. It gets into the library. And then I will play a song like that, and I'll be like, oh, my gosh, this is from 2020 when we were doing dedications to people on Wednesdays.
That's amazing that you can remember that.
Well,
I did the dedications. I don't remember any of them.
Yeah.
I'm just reading, though. you know, when you just read and you don't speak off the cuff, you don't really remember what you're saying because it's just sort of programmed for you.
The less you think about what you're saying when you're reading something for copy, if you hear me doing a recorded spot on this station for a client that I support, like when I'm talking to you during the show, this is some BTS behind the scenes stuff, but like if I will be talking to you shortly about air comfort after this segment is done, I'm not reading any of that. I'm just talking to you about air comfort. Air Comfort sponsors the show. I am an Air Comfort customer. I will talk to you for a minute about them. About whatever I want, however I want. Those recorded spots that you might hear my voice in Mark Cox's show or Mark Cox's voice in this show, those are recorded. And in order to do that right, you just have to learn to read without thinking. It's a weird thing. It's a completely weird skill to have outside of media.
No, it's very true. I started by doing on this station Saturday morning news updates.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this is a lot more difficult than just talking off the cuff.
Yes.
Because you have to write a news report, and you do have to kind of just let your brain go into like a different function.
You have to just
and
talk,
take over. Yeah.
Because the other thing, too, is if I'm recording it, then I can fix any little thing. I can repeat any little thing that I do that isn't very well done. When I'm talking to you, if I flub a word, I just correct the word and keep going. I can't. It's gone. It's in the record.
It's live.
it's much more difficult to record. All right, there's a little behind-the-scenes stuff. Anyway,
what I have for you today with Wiggins America is something that has really been on my mind for a long time. 6 signs.
Is this a big moment for you?
I don't know. You tell me. 6 signs that your coworkers don't like you. This is from Indeed.com.
So this is from like an employment. I noticed that, and I'm like, well, that might be legit.
I think they're trying to help you out if you're trying to get a job, and for some reason you just keep losing jobs. The first one is that your coworkers rarely include you in group discussions.
Yeah.
Now, I've noticed that you two, Brad and Annie, have kind of a private chat sometimes. And I'm not a part of that chat.
Well, it's because we're talking about you.
Well, Ryan, let me explain this to you. That says group discussions.
You're a sensitive dude. You don't want to hear what we're saying.
That's true.
But here's the thing. That's a group discussion. This is just a discussion. When it's just 2 people, it's just a discussion.
You know what, though? Sometimes I think Ethan might be on that discussion and still not me. But, I'm gonna go completely opposite here and say I don't really want to know. Not that it's even about me. Just whatever you guys are talking about in a given moment, if it doesn't involve me, I probably don't need to know.
I don't remember the last time I had a conversation with somebody about you.
Good. That's good. I can't remember the last time I had a conversation, especially over internet, about you. Now, people come to me and ask me questions about you sometimes.
Oh, sure.
Because we're on the radio. And they'll ask about something we're talking about. So,
are you my advocate, or are you trying to sabotage me there too?
Oh, I'm brutally honest.
Hey, I am pretty aware of my very, very many dramatic flaws.
So whenever people ask me about some issue, it's always fun. Whenever they ask about our dynamic, that's actually a more fun conversation.
What do you say?
I say it's terrible.
Okay.
I say that we're so good at our jobs that what we come off on the radio is not at all what we're like in real life.
Tell them we really hate each other
in
real life?
I do.
Yeah. Why do we even need to do the rest of the segment?
We don't.
Okay.
Number 2. They show negative body language when talking to you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Even when these are ready-made for a reel. For you to just do this stuff, Brad to edit it after the show, ready to go. Even when your colleagues don't say anything negative to you, their body language may signify they dislike you. This is true. Sometimes you can walk into a room and just know.
Ice cold.
Uh-oh. I'm going to go ahead and go. Number 3.
Of the times that you walk into the room and that's the mood, how many times do you actually sense that it's the mood? Are you like batting 500 here, or?
I don't know, because the conversation always stops and then they never tell you what they were talking about. So it's really hard to judge whether you're picking up on reality or not.
It's important that you know from the first one where you said that Ethan was part of these conversations. He has sent us in our private chat from outside. It's true, you're being excluded. Go on.
I can see that, though, Ethan. You've really missed the mark now, buddy. I can see everything.
I think he wanted you to know.
Number 3, they never celebrate your successes. Colleagues who celebrate your successes can make you feel more comfortable at work. When you notice that other members of your team never congratulate you.
Why are you talking like that? What's with the
because
tone?
I think, if I recall, I just won Q3 Odyssey Award for like teamsmanship or something. I have not heard a single thing out of, well, Brad, because he won it last
Yeah, that's
quarter.
what I thought. That's what I thought.
But I haven't been congratulated. No trophies, no medals from you at all. Nothing.
I didn't know you won it.
Well, now you do.
Hooray.
Yeah. I mean, it's deserved.
It's deserved.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Very, very excited to see the AFS representing on the teamwork.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Very proud of my team.
Now, I'll be wearing a Wiggins America shirt when I go.
Okay, that's fine. I'm
So
sure that's
if-
why you won the award.
If they if they bring it up, I'm going to say, oh, yes, I am also on the Annie Fry show, but I guess I'm here for
I
this,
work
right?
it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do this 5 days a week. That one. Number 4, they avoid working with you. Thank you, Indeed. That one seems like a really obvious
Are
one.
you feeling good about this, or?
I don't know. I think that I'm okay. You know, I mean, we joke, but I think we actually do a pretty decent job at these things.
Yeah, you would.
They have. Yeah. My assessment of myself is always going to be pretty much a thumbs up.
It's true. I am envious of that skill that you have.
Teamwork is a key element of many professions. If you notice your colleagues seem unhappy when your supervisor asks them to collaborate with you, You may ask them about it directly.
Women's?
What's up with you guys? Come on. Remember, this is from the professionals who are trying to get you a job. Number 5, they give you short and curt replies. No offense to my cousin Kurt. Asking for help.
With a K or with a C?
As with a K, so it doesn't really apply.
It's totally different.
Yeah, it's different. Asking for help or support is a natural thing when you're part of a team. When you ask your colleagues more in-depth or open-ended questions, and they only give you short yes and no replies, you may start wondering why this happens. Have you ever found yourself on the receiving end of any of these things?
Probably.
I think I have too.
The thing though is, if you're on it, there might be people who don't like working with you because you don't like working with them. So which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Chicken or the egg. I don't think I've had this problem in workplaces. I do remember some social groups in high school that were like that. And it's always rough because if it's just a group of people that you don't know that well and you interact with them a little bit and you find that they're kind of keeping you out, okay, whatever. But if it's a group of friends, then all of a sudden you're not in the friend group anymore.
That's like way worse.
That's stuff girls deal with a lot, but guys do too. I don't think that's exclusively to girls.
It just manifests differently,
Yeah.
or womanifests.
Thank you. I mean, what is a womanifest, really? Number
it's
6.
like a manifest, but moodier.
Okay. Oh, man. There's some jokes right now.
Take the pitch.
I'm going to
Take
take the
the
pitch.
pitch.
I'm going to take the pitch.
You couldn't hit it anyway.
Give him the
Oh,
take
yes, I
sign.
could.
Go
I
for
could
it.
hit that.
It's a 3-0 count. Make her throw a strike.
I could hit that.
Number 6, and this is really the last one. They undermine you. Yeah, if they're doing that, they probably don't like you. When one or more of your
I've seen all
colleagues...
of these things happen in the workplace to people.
You know what? I think everybody has seen all of these things happen at some point or another. I would like to think that one of my best roles in any company I've ever been is a uniter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say is the underminer.
No,
Which
but
is
we
one
can
of
end
the
on that.
villain at the end of Incredibles.
The Underminer?
Yeah. It's a good villain. I think that we have a great team. And in radio, as radio has maybe shrunk a little bit in how many people are dedicated to any particular cause, you really do have to have a team that's interested in the same goal. And I think we do that pretty well.
I do too.
And we all definitely have different roles. Like you're here for...
These
What
things.
are you here for?
I mean, I think just this kind of junk.
Stories about why people don't like me. You're great, Ryan. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm a Q3 winner.
Deroy Murdock, Robert C. Cahaly next.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
I was just bragging on Air Comfort Service a little bit earlier today in a conversation I was having as a very satisfied customer myself. When it comes to making an investment, if you're putting in a new air conditioner or furnace or everything, it's a big investment, and you don't want to feel like you're overpaying and it's expensive, so it just is kind of a sticker shock when you have to do something like that. But you want to make sure you're investing in something that's going to last, especially if you are talking about your business. Air Comfort Service absolutely does residential. They've done basically everything in my house, but they also work with businesses. If you have an HVAC issue, if you know that you need a replacement, go with Air Comfort Service. Give them a call. Talk to them about opportunities they have for financing, great financing opportunities. Also for rebates, Air Comfort Service is looking out for you to make sure that you can get to that really great equipment that they provide. Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. Casualties in a high school shooting. I'm Lisa Brady. It happened in Georgia this morning.
What you see behind us is an evil thing today.
Barrow County Sheriff Judd Smith outside Appalachia High School, northeast of Atlanta.
We're not releasing any information as far as injuries, but we have multiple injuries. This is a very, very fluid investigation. It's very early.
He is not confirming any numbers or any deaths. At least one of the injured was airlifted from the scene. A suspect is in custody, but no information yet on who that is. Officers swarming the campus after initial reports of gunfire, with students taking shelter in the football stadium, where parents were later able to begin reuniting with their children. President Biden and Vice President Harris have been briefed on the shooting. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland calls the shooting a terrible tragedy and says he's devastated for the families affected. The FBI and ATF are among the agencies on the scene. Garland speaking a short time ago at the start of an election threat task force meeting and announcing new election meddling claims against Russia, including criminal charges against multiple individuals. Garland says members of President Putin's inner circle directed public relations companies to promote disinformation as part of a program to influence the 2024 election.
Internal documents of the Kremlin describe the content as, quote, bogus stories disguised as newsworthy events, close quote. This malign influence campaign has been referred to as doppelganger.
As part of the probe, the U.S. has seized 32 internet domains used by the Russian government and sponsored actors. The criminal complaint says part of the goal was to convince the American public that the U.S. should not fund the war in Ukraine. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
That summertime feel is back. 88 for the highs. We go through our Wednesday afternoon. Sunshine in control. Tonight, mostly clear. 80s this evening, 69 for the low. Thursday, sunny up to 90. A cool front coming by late Thursday night. Maybe a spot thunderstorm. Tough to find, but we're ahead of that front much of the night. Friday, partly sunny and cooler. 81, 70s, and sunshine for the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
My question for you is, how do you like your steak cooked? For me, growing up, going to Andrea's Steakhouse, I got to order my steak exactly how I want to. Still go there any occasion I can get. Sometimes the occasion is just, hey, we got a date night. We go to Andrea's Steakhouse. I always ordered, and still do, ordered the filet mignon, medium rare on the rare side. Now, here's the thing. Because I grew up going to such a fantastic steakhouse, didn't know that there were other steakhouses. You know, when you're young, you don't know. I've gone to other steakhouses now as an adult. I order medium rare on the rare side just out of habit. It is usually terrible because other steakhouses don't know how to cook things to that perfection, and their cut of meat is not even close to what you can get at Andrea's Steakhouse. So I highly suggest, if you are, I don't even want to say if you're a connoisseur, if you just like a great meal, man, Andrea's Steakhouse is going to blow you away, especially if you've never been there. Go there soon for your next occasion. Visit them at andreas.com.
Home values are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive workforce, as we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be directly notified of our open positions. Again, that's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for our listeners, we invite you to visit odysseyinc.com/careers. There, you'll find an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
12 amazing children and one special evening. The Night of Rock Stars is an event that's sole purpose is to give special needs children an experience they'll never forget by treating them like celebrities. This is Annie, and I'll be emceeing the Night of Rock Stars on September 27th. Join us by visiting 971talk.com/events. It's a great night, including dinner, live auction, and a ton of fun. We celebrate Night of Rock Stars for this month's Conservatives Care. 971talk.com/events.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us. We just got done speaking in the first hour there with Kayleigh McEnany. Excited to have her on the show and talk a little bit about the Georgia school shooting. We kind of caught up with that, and we're going to continue to watch that at high school. And we don't have a lot of details on it. And what we're going to do here on this show is bring you the facts when we have the facts. And we are going to continue to report on those as they are delivered. We're going to speak with Robert C. Cahaly here pretty soon. We're going to talk to Robert C. Cahaly at about 1:25, and I'm going to talk to him about 3 polls that are out there. I was just looking over them, the details of them, over that last break, and I always find Trafalgar, especially Robert C. Cahaly, if you've heard him on the show before, he's quite a character, but the way he does polling is a little bit different than the way a lot of other people do polling. When I pull up Real Clear Politics and I'm looking through the polling that is right there, I know CNN just had a big dump of polls, and watching the CNN polls come in, everything is just a tinge in the favor of Kamala Harris. And I think Arizona might have been the only one. I'll pull that one back up. The polls are often, as I generally say, used to persuade people. And, who's commissioning the poll? What's the poll's purpose? Is it there to inform? Is it from a news organization? Does the news organization have a slant? Is it, the internal polling that comes from that we generally don't see? The internal polling is what most political campaigns actually end up following and working to, map out what direction is the campaign going to go. Are they going to go to Pennsylvania, or are you like the Kamala Harris campaign who's in New Hampshire? Watching the Kamala Harris campaign go to some of these locations, I think they recently had a campaign in an event in Virginia, and you say to yourself, that's interesting. The Harris campaign is choosing to go to places that are supposed to be blue as opposed to the super purple swing states of, say, Arizona, Georgia, which is probably a little more on the pink side of purple, but nothing guaranteed whatsoever. Going to have to earn every vote there. But Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, those types of states, North Carolina, probably a little more pink than purple right now. But again, every vote has to be earned. When you see the Harris campaign spending time in New Hampshire, which is not necessarily a place where you would see Donald Trump spending a ton of time, you're just making sure that she shores up the votes there to make sure that she keeps a light blue state blue. And you can pay attention to where Donald Trump is spending his time. Donald Trump has spent time in Georgia as well, which is an indication that he definitely feels he needs to win those votes. I think there's no question behind that. Georgia was at the epicenter of the 2020 election and a lot of the frustrations that Donald Trump has articulated about the election and the way it materialized. But when you are watching campaigns make moves and they don't necessarily reflect the confidence that a left-leaning poll might show that we have, then you kind of start to go, well, I wonder what the actual polls compared to the internal polling, what kind of comparison that they actually have. I enjoy listening to Robert C. Cahaly on how he goes about getting his polls. It's generally a little bit different than some of the other more common ones. Ryan loves the poll.
I can't. I've been looking forward. Just the fact that you had mentioned Robert C. Cahaly could be on the show this week.
I did this for you because I care about you.
I appreciate. You know what? I'm a listener too, and I am going to.
Sometimes on the show you're not.
Well, that's true. I listen more when I'm off the show.
Do you?
Yeah. So I'm going to go in my office in the next
handy.
segment and just sit there and listen because I want to hear. See, Robert C. Cahaly was super, and Trafalgar in general, very, very accurate in 2020. Presidential elections, they have been nailing it. And that's this year.
What do you want to know from him?
Well, I just want to hear kind of the lay of the land. I do like hearing their methods because the methodology of doing polls in general has changed so much in the last 10 to 20 years. You don't just call people on their landlines anymore. You can't just call people on their cell phones either. You have to do all this polling. And then, of course, it depends on how you weight the poll against, it's not just like, oh, you interviewed too many Republicans or too many Democrats. It's how you weight the results of that poll. And so I'm interested to hear how he's weighting the poll because that really is the key to all of them, not just Trafalgar.
What do you think you know about other particular polls? Rasmussen, if CNN's running a poll, Fox News is running a poll. I mean, when the Fox News polls comes out, there's a lot of people, there's a certain kind of person, they're like, oh, Paul Ryan has spoken.
Yeah. Oddly, Fox News does not fall into that category of a leaning poll. They are pretty much the same as most other polls at this point. They're just snap polls. Well, they do it over the span of 3 days, 4 days, or whatever. Rasmussen is different. Rasmussen does what's called a rolling poll, where they really never stop, and they have the same people in the poll for a long time to gauge a general mood of these certain people. So their poll is a little bit different, and when you see what Scott Rasmussen says about his own polls, you can tell that he is definitely coming at it from a conservative standpoint. So does that change his poll? I don't know. Trafalgar had partnered with Daily Wire, I think, in the past. So obviously they tend to be categorized as a right-leaning poll. But when you're accurate, you're accurate. That's the thing. And people will say about 2022 and say, well, they weren't quite as good in 2022. Yeah, well, they're always better than most of them, though. So you can say all you want about polls in general, but Trafalgar has a good track record. So that's why I like when you talk to them.
I am looking at the betting odds, the 2024 U.S. president betting odds. The RCP average on the betting odds, Trump 49.3, Harris 49.3.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, that's the average. None of this means anything to me. I don't know how much of you guys know much about betting. Betfair has Trump 48, Harris 47. Bovada has Trump 52, Harris 50. Do these not have to equal 100? But I don't.
Maybe somebody else in there. Who knows?
I don't math. BWin is 51-51. Polymarket is 50 Trump, 46 Harris.
See, it's the 51-51 that I don't quite get.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Inflation. Predicted is 47 Trump, 54 Harris, and Smarkets. S-Markets is 48.
Yeah, Smarkets.
Smarkets.
Now's
like
the time
Sprockets.
on Smarkets where we dance. Oh.
It's like the second Sprockets reference this week, and it's a short week.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's only Wednesday of 2 days.
What are you paid in oatmeal cream pies by the Sprockets reference?
Well, Mike Myers, yeah. The Shrek team. They're like, we're trying to get a Sprockets movie. We need more media coverage.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy's the delivery boy, I'm sure. I can't stand looking at national poll numbers. Like I'll get halfway in, I'll be like, why am I doing this? Knock it off. It doesn't matter. You could have the whole state of California, Illinois, and New York all vote. Every single person vote for Donald Trump or vote for Kamala Harris. I almost forgot who was running on the Democrat
it's
side.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that's her goal. You could have every single individual in that state vote for the Democrat candidate, and it doesn't change anything.
No, they're just gauges. At this point, too, now they give you a general picture of where the country kind of feels. And especially when you take the average of all
Well, I think you have to, when you look at a national polling average, if Donald Trump is in the margin of error or competing, for the Democrats, that's got to be
that's a nightmare.
Oh, poo moment.
Yeah, and that's why they were so scared of Biden, because Trump was performing ahead of Biden outside the margin of error, so they knew there's no way. Now with Harris, it's gotten back to looking a little bit more like a normal race, but still.
RCP average for Georgia. RCP average. That's all of the polls they have together averaged into into this is 48.3 Harris, 48.2 Trump. 0.1 to Harris.
That's actually almost exactly what the 2020 total was.
Yeah. The Hill Emerson has Harris up by 1. Insider Advantage has him tied at 48. Let's see, the New York Times Siena poll has Trump +4. The New York Times is the only one that has Trump up.
Siena's good too. They've been swinging all over the place though. That's been a weird poll.
I'm looking forward to hearing what Trafalgar has to say, but more so, I always ask him about the other guys. Like, tell me about why they suck.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
It's good though. Brad, I think you shared a graphic with me that I was kind of floating around out there about the 2020 election and the ranking of who got it most right, who got it most wrong based on their overall predictions and then the results. Trafalgar was number 2 most accurate in that entire cycle in 2020. Number 2. The only one above them was some random small college poll that didn't do nearly as much as Trafalgar did. Every single, you name them, New York Times, Siena, CNN, Fox News, no matter who you name, they were below Trafalgar in 2020.
Pennsylvania, we'll start with the Trafalgar group one, +2 Trump. And then the Hill and CNN have them at a tie. Bloomberg, Morning Consult, that's always a left-leaning one, isn't it?
It always is, yeah.
Harris +4. Insider Advantage and Rasmussen both have them +1. Pennsylvania is looking like it is going to go red.
Yeah, what the heck is happening?
And when I keep peeking at Virginia, Virginia will most likely go blue, but when you look at what the governor has done there to clean up the voter rolls, it's one of those that if it's red, we're going to know that earlier on, you would think, assuming that they actually call the races like they're supposed to. Pennsylvania has already given us the heads up that Pennsylvania intends to be not calling the state that night. It's going to be hanging out there. I'm out there, Jerry. Isn't that one?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit. I mean,
we
it sounds
just
like one.
know of Seinfeld references.
No, I generally know the show.
But but if you look at the East Coast having Virginia and Georgia, but Georgia has 2 time zones, so right? So Georgia actually, isn't that right?
If the far west part of the state is in the central, I think that's probably
Tennessee.
all east. Yeah.
Well, but Georgia, I feel like, has 2 closing times.
Oh, okay. They might.
But I feel like Georgia might have to wait until we get into the middle of the country. But it's possible if you get a Virginia that goes red, this is going to be a thing that is the opposite of last time, where we could know early. If Virginia goes blue, if North Carolina ends up going blue, New Hampshire stays blue, Pennsylvania again, I don't think we're going to find that out that night at all. If those start going blue, we could know pretty early that this is not going to go the way we want it to go.
I'll tell you one point that has not been made about this election, because things have just happened so fast, is Republicans had all of the ground energy for the last year and a half. The enthusiasm for Biden for that long was nil. It was nothing. So the only enthusiasm on the ground that they've had for maybe a month. They're behind on registration. They're behind on all the stuff. Republicans have got their act together so much more this year in that regard.
That's not what the Democrats are saying, though.
Well, of course.
But they've been pushing on all of that stuff the entire time with Biden. I mean, the apparatus that is the Democrat Party hasn't slowed down at all. And it's a minor detail to change the name on the top of the ballot, which they were able to just do. When your campaign is not Trump, it really doesn't matter who's on the top of the ballot. So I think it'd be very easy to underestimate and overinflate what the Republican Party has done. It'll be a really, really important question to assess how well the Republican Party took what the Democrats successfully were able to do in 2020 and replicate every square inch of it. Replicate all of it. That's what I'm saying. If that makes Democrats scared, it's like, I just tell me what you're afraid of.
Saying anything that's against the normal narrative apparently makes Democrats scared. We were talking about J.B. Pritzker yesterday. All these social media outlets, and he just can't stand that Elon Musk owns one of them.
Yeah. And he's
just one.
Disgusted at the fact that Elon Musk would buy his way into power. I can't handle it. Man, like, I don't take medication to lower and stabilize my mood, but that made me feel blackout.
It's astounding.
I'm like, it'd be easier it'd be more palatable to me if he weren't my governor.
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln would have been a Democrat.
The only further quote he could have done would be to say, you know what I hate is when Democrats buy the governorship in Illinois.
Yeah.
Really? Wait a minute now.
Yeah. Chaps me. I just... You can go listen to that if you want to just have your mind be blown as well, along with mine. Yesterday's podcast. Quick break. When we come back, Robert C. Cahaly.
Yay.
You pumped?
Yeah, I am.
Chief pollster and founder of the Trafalgar Group with 3 important new polls out. You want to know what's going on in Pennsylvania? What about Michigan? How about Wisconsin? Let's talk to Robert C. Cahaly when we come back.
When we touch it, it's making me say that the way you hold me.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Oh God, running to the altar like a track star. Can't wait another second. 'Cause the way you hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me, feel so holy.
Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance, your realtor, to help you sell your house in Illinois, to help you buy your next home in Illinois. You got RE/MAX Alliance and Jen Teskey on your side when you call 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. You can go online as well to jenteskeyhomes.com, T-E-S-K-E, jenteskeyhomes.com, and tap into experience and also the brightest, nicest personality you've ever met. Working with Jen, you are going to get honesty, which is the most important thing when it comes to real estate. Some difficult things to hear sometimes or important things to know. Jen's got all of that in spades, and she is going to deliver that honesty to you in a way that's going to benefit you, and you're going to be friends forever after the fact. She is really great at what she does. She's super experienced in the Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Troy, Collinsville, all of those areas in Illinois. So if you're looking to buy, if you're looking to sell in Illinois, do what I did and reach out to Jen Teskey and her team at RE/MAX Alliance. 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. jenteskeyhomes.com.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Wednesday afternoon, there's a mom that wrote in the New York Times that she paid her kid $100 just to read a book and thought it was a good investment. We'll talk about it. It all starts at 3.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
If you got the goods, they'll come and buy it just to stay in the click. So don't delay, act now, supplies are running out. Allow if you're still alive, 6 to 8 years to arrive. And if you follow them, be out tomorrow. But if the office shun, you might as well be walking on the sun.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I want to give you an update right now on the situation in Georgia before we get to our guest, Robert C. Cahaly, in just 1 second. There's a little bit of a news update on this very tragic school shooting in Georgia. At least 4 people are dead Wednesday after a shooting at a high school in north central Georgia put the building on lockdown. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation confirmed 4 people died at Appalachia High School in Barrow County, Georgia, approximately 40 miles northeast of Atlanta, and 9 others were taken to various hospitals with injuries. The suspect is alive and in custody. So that is the update that we have for right now on what is taking place in Georgia. We will continue to watch for further updates and deliver them to you as we get them. A real quick clip here from CNN on some of their latest polling.
In these brand new CNN polls, you see how close this race is. You noted these are the top line numbers here, that Harris has an outside the margin of error slight lead in Wisconsin. She also has an outside the margin of error slight lead in Michigan. You also noted that in Arizona, Donald Trump has a slight outside the margin of error lead, but in Georgia, Nevada, Pennsylvania, no clear leader within the margin of error. This shows that the candidates have multiple paths to 270, but that this is indeed a toss-up race. And you mentioned...
Okay, so that's CNN right there on the polls right now. We have Robert C. Cahaly joining us, chief pollster and founder of the Trafalgar Group. Robert, it's a pleasure to have you back on the show. We know that at the Trafalgar Group, you do things a little bit differently, and we love to hear your latest results. What have your studies shown, and how does it compare to what everybody else is out there saying?
As always, it's a pleasure to be here, Annie. And what we've done is I've been kind of working with partnered with Matt Towery with Insider Advantage, and we each time we do the polls, we divide up the battleground states. So one of us does does the other half. You can also hear about what we do on our podcast, Polling Plus. Matt and I do it every week, kind of with insider information on what we're thinking on the polls. But right now, we show it almost the inverse of what CNN's showing it, except for we do have some of the states just neck and neck. Pennsylvania is the largest lead we actually show it now. It's about a 1.8 lead for Trump. And Michigan, we show tied. Wisconsin, very slim lead for Trump, around a point. North Carolina, a 1-point lead for Trump. Georgia, tied. And both Nevada and Arizona, a 1-point lead for Trump. Now let me say, one, all these polls were within a margin of error, both ours and CNN's. And I'm a believer that the Democrats, whatever you want to call it, get out the vote, shenanigans, whatever's going to happen on leading up this election, I think it's worth at least 2 points, if not 2.5 in these states. So I do not consider any of these states wins for Trump right now based upon that.
So you factor in the Democrats' ability to get out the vote.
No, I didn't factor in the polls.
Well,
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Right.
Your thoughts right now is you take the polls for what they are, and then you assume about 2 points-ish for their Democrats' effort to find those votes through however they find those votes.
Well, and some of it is just good old-fashioned ground operations.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing the Republican Party does that touches that, because frankly, the Republican Party doesn't spend the money on the individuals and develop the farm team the Democrats do. I mean, they have thousands of paid operatives on the ground, going house to house, getting people, pulling up their phones, putting a program on there so that their phones can text everybody on their phones to remind them to vote. I mean,
yeah,
really impressive technology. I mean, not to mention what else might be happening, but just alone, that's just impressive. And it's worth as a matter of fact, I heard Donna Brazile this weekend say that she thinks the Democrats' ability on get out the vote can overcome some of the polling numbers. So, and I do too. Well, I agree with Donna Brazile. I hate to say that, but I do.
I appreciate that. Robert C. Cahaly with us right now. I'll mention that you can check out his podcast. Go listen to it at Polling Plus. That's the name of his podcast. I encourage you to listen to that. Can you draw any comparisons from this election to 2020 and 2016? I mean, all 3 of those instances, really dramatically different moments in time. Can you show consistency through those 3?
Trump is in a better position than he was on most. But the country, as it relates to Trump, has become a little more understanding of who and what Trump is, and the people who support Trump have gotten a little bolder. There's a lot of folks who were for Trump in 2016 that were real hesitant to say. A little less of that in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would say it picked up. 2024 will be somewhere in the middle because everything surrounding January 6th and the media's perception of what happened and the media's narrative of what happened and the shame that they put on anybody who is for Trump now has kind of led to some of this happening again. And you also, if you've studied what's called the social desirability bias, and that's the tendency, especially with a live call, for someone to say they are for someone in an election more to make sure the person or organization asking doesn't judge them. We've always thought that applied to Trump.
Yeah.
And, that comes, it was called the Bradley effect, going back to a race in California in the 80s where there was the polls overstated the support for the African-American candidate. So with Kamala Harris being the first African-American, Asian-American woman running for president, there might be an overstated support. So we could have what I would call a double social desirability going on in these races.
That's interesting.
This in these states. And so this is something we are going to be measuring now that we get close to the election and seeing if we can discern whether that's going on. Because even when you don't use live callers today, people in this information age are still hesitant to say who they're for because they really don't know what anybody's doing with that data. Now, those of you who know Trials of Group is, we have a privacy policy on our website. The first thing we do is delete first names from the database before we begin calling. So we don't have the records of anybody's first names and last names. So we don't share that data.
Right.
But we know that the others do.
Robert C. Cahaly is speaking with us right now. We hear these stories reporting on Texas and Virginia and other states in the country that are cleaning up their voter rolls or removing dead people or removing illegal immigrants or non-citizens, maybe I should say. Do you expect any of those efforts to have any effect on the 2024 election?
Well, I know the second you start cleaning up your voter rolls in a county, you're going to get a nasty note from Mark Elias and the Democrats. And unless your county or your state's got money to fight it in court, which some do, you're not going to do a lot of cleaning. It might, but the thing is, you also have to realize when you clean up a voter roll, that's to clean off people who haven't voted in years, clean off people who are dead. What it doesn't do is it doesn't clean off people who've registered to vote in the last 2 years who might not actually be eligible. Now, I'm not worried about that in Texas. I'm just not, because they're pretty good about making sure that things are right. But I am worried about that in some other states. You have people voting against a simple bill that people have to be citizens. And I know they say you have to be a citizen to vote, but if they're not checking your ID when you vote, and if you can get registered to vote with simply a driver's license, which you can get in many states without being a citizen, then how do you know?
Yeah.
An ID document that makes it very clear whether you're a citizen somewhere. Because, of course, a green card holder ought to be able to get a driver's license if they're here working. But we have to have something on the primary document that lets you know. Otherwise, we're going to have non-citizens registered to vote. And it's something that's hard to clean up, not to mention how fast the Biden-Harris administration is making people citizens. The New York Times reports they had a record for it. We don't know who all these people are. We just don't know.
Yeah, I live in Illinois, Robert, and you just go in and you say your name, and I think you match a signature, and that's about it. And they hand you your ballot, and you go vote. So there's not a lot of verification involved in that. I wanted to ask.
Voter ID is so
Yeah.
critical. I mean, you can't do anything without an ID. Go try to attend a Kamala Harris rally without an ID and see what happens to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you go through security and on the other side of walls, and it's just bizarre. Kamala Harris, since you brought her up, and the support that has been seen on the ground for her at events and stuff that she's done, it doesn't seem like she's really had a major big rally where there isn't also something else there drawing people in. Obviously, when she became not just the not Trump candidate, but also the not Biden candidate for the Democrat Party, breathe a little bit of new life. It seems like that really jolted things for the Democrats. Do you feel as though there is any predictable direction that her support is going in right now, since we are past the convention, she's got the nomination, and now we're down to the last couple months here, nitty-gritty campaigning?
Yeah, I know. We didn't see a convention bounce. That seems to be even polling companies that we know are in the tank for Harris, even they admit that. And so there wasn't a convention bounce. The newness is beginning to wear off. Tough questions are beginning to be asked. And even the mainstream media is asking tough questions. The one thing about the media is they certainly lean to the left, but they think of themselves as very important. And when you don't talk to them, it absolutely annoys them beyond belief. And so I've seen some tough questioning of her that I would not have expected with, Sunday shows and stuff like that. I mean, it was very impressive. But so I think tough questions begin to be asked and about, her changing her positions and things like that. And so I think it is really something that she's leveled out. And there's not this increase that had been happening. Now, really, I think we're probably at a little bit of a stalemate and a plateau heading into this debate. Both of them have a lot to lose. And I think Trump has a lot to gain. Harris has more to lose because she can't win either way. If she doesn't go, she'll be lampooned by the media and by Trump. Mm-hmm. And if she does go, there's a chance that it's not going to go well for her. But she did show, I thought, in the ABC, the CNN interview, that she can handle carefully rehearsed answers that are well crafted.
Yeah.
And if she's prepared like that, and doesn't let Trump get under her skin. And more importantly, if Trump is prepared with simple, factual answers and doesn't let Harris get under his skin, I think that answer to answer, Trump is going to win the debate. But he's got to let her not get under her skin. And he's not done a great job of that. And it's tough because I understand there's a lot about her that just makes him really angry. But she does a better job of not letting him get under her skin. I mean, he said a lot of things that she didn't like, but she didn't react. She knows what she's bad at. And what she's bad at is straight up answers without preparation.
We're speaking with Robert C. Cahaly here of the Trafalgar Group. Check out his podcast, the Polling Plus podcast. A last question before we let you go, Robert. Do J.D. Vance and Tim Walz, do the vice presidential candidates, the vice presidential debate, I mean, with it being so razor thin everywhere, I would think that everything matters. Do you anticipate these vice presidential candidates having an impact on the outcome of this race?
They might. I expect that Tim Walz and some of his craziness is going to be used by the Trump team to kind of draw distance between him and average Americans. And by the same token, I expect some of what J.D. Vance has said, especially as it relates to abortion, and not recently. It's stuff he said when he was running for Senate, when he first got in there. I expect those words to be used to motivate women around abortion. So, yeah, I think that both be used as motivational tools to suggest that what they believe is outside of the mainstream, and they also can act as effective attack dogs. J.D. Vance is very, very good and disciplined when having these interviews. I mean, every one of the Sunday shows, I watched every interview he did, and he could not have been more articulate, and he just wouldn't let the person giving the interview push him around. They couldn't just say that thing where they say, well, that's not true, but he came back. No, he literally would not concede points and move on.
Yeah.
And I think that's I mean, if you're going to fight the mainstream media as a Republican, you have to be able to not do that. Don't concede points and move on.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. Well, we are going to be watching very closely as the Trafalgar Group continues to put out these polls. And Robert C. Cahaly, your podcast, Polling Plus, a must-listen for people as we are marching 60-some days here to the election. Your information is going to be very helpful for people who are trying to keep their pulse on this campaign. Thank you for being with us here today. It's always great to talk to you.
And it's always a pleasure to be on your show and talk to your audience, and I just hope you make it out of Illinois before it's too late.
You are not the first person to tell me that on this show. I appreciate that. So we'll talk to you again soon, Robert. Thank you for your time today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Man, the reputation, the state of Illinois' reputation across this country, pretty consistent, which is such a bummer because it really is a great place to live, and Chicago should be the best city in the United States, and it's just... those politicians, they just have destroyed it. Should make it great again. Let's take a quick break. Ryan Wiggins back in studio. We're going to talk about the poll when we come back. Grade the Trump campaign strategy so far. Have you gotten your vote in? Have you left a comment for us as to why you voted the way you did? Kurt said, I don't know that he could do much better, especially in terms of his big tent approach. I think that's accurate. HW said, B/C wish they would only concentrate on policy. I'm tired of the name calling as I usually am by August, September. I don't know if he can help it, but it just gets old. What do you think? Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, vote in today's live broadcast, live chat, leave a comment. We might read it on the air. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
The Diamond Shop online at thediamondshop.net. Go visit them and start learning about this beautiful jewelry shop in Clayton, Missouri. They've been in St. Louis since 1910 and ready to serve you right now in Clayton through the 21st of this month. Annual clearance sale, folks. This is your time. This is your moment. Up to 70% off at the Diamond Shop. Again, online at thediamondshop.net. And right now they have a custom sale going as well. 50% off all loose color stones, which you can then use to create your own unique piece of jewelry. Those color stones, maybe for mom, for grandma, some birthstones, something special to mark a special occasion. The Diamond Shop can customize something for you. And they got 50% off those stones right now. So this is a good time to do it. A reminder that they do 6 months same as cash financing. So if you're looking to buy something to finance over the course of the next few months and you want to get something for Christmas, this is a great way to make it more affordable for you. Reach out to the Diamond Shop, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage and become a VIP. Gives you the extra opportunity for some savings on particular items. You won't want to miss it. In Clayton and online at thediamondshop.net.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
One of the country's most storied collegiate soccer rivalries is coming to City Park in downtown West. Sunday, September 8th. Don't miss St. Louis University and Southern Illinois University Edwardsville men's soccer teams facing off in the historic Bronze Boot Clash. Both universities' women's soccer teams will also take the field, promising an action-packed day of competitive local NCAA Division I soccer. Get your tickets now at SeatGeek.com. That's SeatGeek.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
Grade the Trump campaign strategy so far, A through F. We're about to do the same. If you want to stick around and hear our grades, it's the YouTube live chat poll. We'd like for you to participate. Maybe read some of your comments here in just a minute. Type in Annie Fry into YouTube, and that's where you can vote and leave a comment. The time is 1:50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is happening now. Tune in to the Annie Fry Show live stream. Vote and be a part of the conversation by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Subscribe and leave a comment.
Lucy Lou, with my girl Drew, Cameron D and Destiny, Charlie's Angels, come on. Question, tell me what you think about
This
me.
is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
I think I know the answer to this. Did you guys ever own button fly jeans?
I think I might still have some.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure.
I don't think I ever did get into that trend.
It's kind of a 90s thing, I believe. Would you say?
Oh, for sure.
There's a lot of
I got mine
fly.
after the 90s. I know that.
Right when they were on sale because they were no longer in
When
style.
they were
Probably in 2001.
Say when they were in the flea market.
No, I think 2000. I mean, in high school, I graduated high school in 2002, and I think I might have had some button fly, flare, boot cut jeans then.
Is there more to the button fly jeans than just a button fly? Is it a whole thing, or so you can see the buttons? Because the button fly I had still had the little flap over it.
It could be. I think dudes more often had a button. I don't know. I've never worn dude pants. Well, jeans. I've worn men's pants, but
All right.
like athletic pants.
I'm not judging you.
No, you kind of are.
Yeah, I am.
See? I remember my husband having a pair of button fly jeans when we were dating that had like a flap over the top so that you couldn't see the buttons.
Yeah, that's the kind I had and might still have. I just don't like them for practicality. They're annoying.
It's too big of a commitment.
Yeah, they're annoying.
I literally get 2 minutes and 20 seconds to pee. And I got in the bathroom like, God dang it. It takes forever to button those buttons back up.
I've been telling the engineers, just put a drain in here.
No, you haven't. That's terrible.
Well, I've been thinking about telling them that.
Not to mention the fact the practicality of that for you and me are very different situations.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we don't know. We don't have a drain in here. We have to find out.
We know.
We know.
Well, maybe I don't know about you.
I
I know
don't-
about me. I know how this would go for me.
I mean, I can hit a drain from across the room.
I've bumper peed before.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Do you know
You've
what
worn
that is?
men jeans, yeah. Although I've never done it or seen it done,
Well, you
I
do pee sitting down.
do
so.
understand the nature of what bumper peeing would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually the cleanly way to do it.
Is it?
If you're peeing outside,
Yeah.
it's good to have a bumper.
Yeah, I would think so. Same with pooping.
Can't help you there. Never had to do
Especially if it's not your car.
There's no way out of
Anyway,
this.
there's a couple minutes left in this segment.
I could go pee in this amount of time.
You want to just go?
Would you wear button fly jeans today, or is that? I mean, you seem to be in your pretty standard convenience phase.
I'm in my
of
convenience phase,
life.
yeah. I haven't quite started wearing just sweatpants.
There are people who do now. Athleisure made a big stance in 2020.
Now, I'm not for athleisure.
And athleisure has stuck around.
I'm talking about just leisure. I don't want athleisure. I want to pretend I'm an athlete.
Sounds like too much work.
Yeah. Let's just put on the old sweatpants and not care which way they're facing.
Is there any piece of clothing, Ryan, that you have that when you wear, you're like, I'm looking good?
Ooh.
I didn't consider the fact that the answer was no. I thought you would have a go-to.
I do have a couple of black shirts that I guess probably hide the fact that I have a little bit more belly than I'd like. And I will say this. I'm telling you the honest truth.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Trisha a couple times. Trisha and I.
Uh-huh.
Now, she's on maternity leave right now, so this hasn't been recent. But we've gone a couple times because she'll say, you going to get anything for lunch? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to run and get something. She's like, we got to go pick up something for so-and-so's birthday somewhere in the office.
Yeah, she'll go get you a Fountain Dew.
And she's in charge of that. And if it has anything to do with the show, she's like, come with me so you can help me carry it in or whatever. So I've a couple times gone with her to a grocery store. In the grocery store, twice with her, I've been wearing my black shirt and gotten out of her car. And I don't know if I'm with a girl that like changes it or just that I'm walking around wearing my black shirt, but I have gotten some glances. And I'm pretty proud of that. Yeah.
Downtown St. Louis?
Downtown
They
St.
probably
Louis.
want money or food.
Yeah, they asked me for money. They asked me for cigarettes.
Do you look expensive?
Yeah.
What kind of shirt?
But not super
Other
expensive.
than
The kind
it
of guy
being-
who would carry some ciggies.
Other than... other than it being black, is it a T-shirt?
Yeah, it's just a T-shirt
It's
with
a
a little
black T-shirt?
Black T-shirt. It's cotton poly blend. Just a little pocket right here. It fits me just snug enough that I look like I might be fit, but I'm not really. I can kind of get away with it.
Do you relate to this, folks? Do you really relate to this?
You've got that. You've got a shirt that every now
Forget
and then.
this YouTube poll. Let's rate Ryan Wiggins' fashion strategy.
Friday, do you have that shirt? Yes or no?
Black T-shirt, pocket.
Just no, whatever that shirt is for you. That's what it is for me. Do you have that shirt?
You need to wear this shirt tomorrow, and then we'll grade your shirt.
I hope it's clean. I wear it a lot.
It probably won't matter. Let's talk about the poll when we come back. Don't go away.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning, and it's back to school time, of course. And what do the kids do over the summer? They drag dirt into your home. They stink it up, too. The good news is the kids are back in school. Zero Res is the healthy way to get your home feeling fresh and clean again. Even if it doesn't look dirty, you need Zero Res to remove the dust, dander, and bacteria in your carpet. If you have pets in particular, Zero Res can really help you. They can get the yuck out of your air ducts as well. And lucky for you, in the month of September, there's a great offer from my friends at Zero Res. So right now, you can get your entire home zero-resified from St. Louis's ultimate carpet cleaner. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129. $75 off your air duct cleaning during the month of September. Check out Zero Res today. Schedule your appointment. It's easy. 314-474-2020. Mention my name or ask for the 97.1 FM Talk special. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res. Don't miss this month's offer. 3 rooms starting at $129. $75 off your air duct cleaning. Zero Res.
The Retirement Advisory Group, your go-to for retirement planning and making that transition where you are going to leave work and you're going to go into retire. Now, if you're me and you're 40, you're just like, how much can you save, stow it away, invest it, whatever. When it gets to be the point where you're in your late 50s, you're 60, and it's time to make that move or you're ready to be confident that you can make that move, You call the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, and you talk to them about your retirement. And they talk to you about the Retirement Advisory Group's helpful strategies to make sure that you do all the correct things to make that transition in the best case scenario for you. When you talk to Bob and Tammy Kershaw and Thomas Helbig at the Retirement Advisory Group, they're going to guide you, help you set up a personalized structured income plan to give you the confidence you need in retirement. Call 314-993-9494 for a free consultation with no obligation, retirementkey.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. A deadly high school shooting on Lisa Brady. Georgia's Bureau of Investigation just confirming 4 deaths in a shooting earlier today at Appalachia High School northeast of Atlanta in Winder, Georgia. Student Alexandra Romero says she was scared.
The policemen were chasing the person up and down the hallways. You can hear the shooting, but from like afar.
As multiple law enforcement agencies arrived, students were sent to the football stadium to be picked up later by anxious parents.
You just see cars parked as if people just leapt out of them from a mile on out of the school, just people abandoning their cars on the sidewalk and running. This is not just a high school here, but there's a daycare, an elementary school as well. So when there's a shooting in the area, you really got the sense that, of course, parents dropped whatever they were doing, raced to the scene.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Winder. In addition to the 4 dead, 9 others were taken to hospitals with injuries. The suspect is alive and in custody. No word yet on who it is. President Biden says what should have been a joyous back-to-school season has turned into another horrific reminder of how gun violence tears communities apart.
As the president has said time and time again, this is not normal. This is not normal.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre urging Congress to act. The U.S. accusing Russia again of trying to meddle in U.S. elections, using state media to spread disinformation.
The American people are entitled to know when a foreign power is attempting to exploit our country's free exchange of ideas in order to send around its own propaganda.
Attorney General Merrick Garland announcing criminal charges against 2 employees of a company run by Russian state media. The U.S. also seizing 32 internet domains used by the Kremlin to spread propaganda and weaken global support for Ukraine. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
That summertime feel is back. 88 for the highs. We go through our Wednesday afternoon. Sunshine in control. Tonight, mostly clear. 80s this evening, 69 for the low. Thursday, sunny up to 90. A cool front coming by late Thursday night. Maybe a spot thunderstorm. Tough to find, but we're ahead of that front much of the night. Friday, partly sunny and cooler. 81, 70s, and sunshine for the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you looking for new windows for your home? Replacement windows to replace those builder's grade windows? They've been in your house for decades, and they're not doing the trick anymore. All that energy you're paying to heat and cool throughout the year, seeping right out those old, worn-out windows. So you need something new. You don't want to pay extra, but you do want to make sure that you secure quality. Window World enters the chat. 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800. The windows that are simply the best for less. When you call Window World to talk to them about a free in-home estimate, I will remind you they are now offering up to 36 months, same as cash financing, with approved credit. So if you want to talk to them about that great financing opportunity, which they have not done this before, you can call them at 314-993-1800 and begin that conversation and schedule that in-home consultation to figure out what you're looking at. And when you call them, 314-993-1800, mention the Annie Fry Show. Don't forget to drop my name in there because you're going to be entered into a drawing for 4 St. Louis Blues tickets for the upcoming season from Window World. Mention the Annie Fry Show to get entered to do that. 314-993-1800, windowworldSTLouis.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
12 amazing children, one special evening. The Night of Rock Stars is September 27th, giving special needs kids a celebrity treatment they'll never forget. Join us for this month's Conservatives Care. The Night of Rock Stars by visiting 971talk.com/events.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We are watching, sadly, with Fox News right now is going to be covering, giving an update. They say soon on the shooting that took place in Georgia. We have to do this again. It is very sad that we have to do that again. We will bring you the facts as they continue to be released. We're not using this as a subject of conversation until we know exactly what the facts are. I will tell you that so far Fox News has reported that at least 4 people are dead Wednesday after a shooting at a high school in north central Georgia put the building on lockdown, according to authorities. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation confirmed that 4 people had died at Appalachia High School in Barrow County, Georgia, approximately 40 miles northeast of Atlanta, and 9 others have been taken to various hospitals with injuries. The suspect is alive and in custody. I don't want to talk too much about this right now because we are awaiting a lot of details, which, we'll get some shortly and then maybe not many. We traditionally don't have a suspect that is alive and in custody at this point.
Not
in these events.
recently. Seems like in the past we had, and then in the last few we have not. So that is a little different than it's been.
I'm trying to think of the last time we had a suspect that.
Florida.
Oh yeah, that's right. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So we wait for details. If they do have a press conference here, we're going to dip into it and we're going to bring that to you. So just keep it here for the latest news on that. Let's transition a little bit here to our YouTube poll for today. And yesterday we had a poll and we were asking you about grading Kamala Harris's campaign, and it was pretty evenly split, and it ascended as we descended grades. So I think F was the highest, but it was maybe 38% or something like that, high 30s. So there wasn't a clear consensus on how you all feel about how the Kamala Harris campaign is going. Right now, Ryan, what's your assessment of the campaign strategy so far for Donald Trump? What grade do you give it?
I give it a BC. On the high end,
which is what you gave Kamala Harris.
Yeah, same thing. On the high end for Trump, I would say that he's doing a very good job of exploiting Kamala Harris's weaknesses in that she doesn't really have policy positions, and when she does, she's all over the place. He's trying to talk policy and talk about how bad hers are, but also he's out there talking about anything. And that is what she cannot do as a candidate. So it's not just policy. It is personality. It is the candidate. He's trying to draw a dichotomy between himself and her. That's where I think he's doing a good job. On the other side, though, I don't really think those policy discussions are coming through well enough. And if they were, I'd give him an A. But since this race really hasn't been about policy as much as I think it should be, I'm going to put that on Trump and say he could be doing a better job.
What a moment, though, for the debate.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be able to get through, if you're Kamala Harris, you're not going to be able to get through the debate without avoiding talking about policy. She might not talk about policy at the debate, but if she chooses to not, it's going to be such a glaring, obvious strategy that she's not willing to discuss those things that it would lead people to potentially believe maybe she doesn't have policy. Maybe she's not interested in dictating that policy. So the debate, I think, is going to be a pivotal moment, which if it goes the way of the CNN Dana Bash interview, at the end of that, it was confirmation that she still is who we thought she was.
Yeah. And nothing new. Like, it's just, here it is. It's the same thing.
No forward, no backwards,
right.
More the same. So
it's funny you say that because she's speaking right now up on Fox News. There are signs all over behind her that say a new way forward. There's nothing new.
There's nothing new. And it's debatable that it's forward.
It's just the same.
Other than the literal passage of time. That is the only thing that is forward.
Unburdened by what has been.
And now I'm thinking I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I'm having an epiphany here. Brad, what do you think? Brian says B/C. What do you got?
I got B/C with it being a B or B+, somewhere toward the higher end of those two. And the reason I did that is because there is not a camera they will not get in front of. There's not an interview that they won't take. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are out there hitting the stump as hard as they can. The one thing that really impresses me is the podcast that he's going on, the Theo Vons, the going golfing. He's using alternative media. I don't think I've seen a presidential campaign do this ever, unless, I don't know, did Barack Obama go on podcasts where podcasts is much of a thing in 08?
He went on YouTube, and that is kind of the equivalent. We've talked about this before, that the Obama campaign mastered YouTube before YouTube was what YouTube is right now. The Trump 16 campaign mastered Facebook. The Biden 2020 campaign stole Twitter and Facebook through ridiculous levels of influence, but were able to manipulate those social media platforms. And I do think that you're right that the Trump 2024 campaign focusing on this kind of new media could have a big impact on the election.
Yeah, so that's why I give them that B to the C, because they're not just doing the traditional things. They're also not sitting back on their laurels. They are actively proactive. The reason it's not an A is because, they do make some slip-ups, or they're having to battle things that are older things. So like the cat lady comment, it's stupid politics stuff. J.D. Vance said that offhand on a Tucker Carlson interview a long time ago, but they dug it up and they did it. Now they have to defend it. It's little slip-ups like that is not an A, so maybe my standard's a little too high for an A. Also, I was upset with how they were handling it when Kamala was doing her thing. It's like nobody's talking, nobody's doing anything. And now that I look back on it, it's the rope-a-dope. They were just sitting there taking the punches and letting them wear themselves out, and now comes the counter. So I'm looking for what they're going to do as a counter punch.
I'm still thinking that Kamala Harris will put her information on her campaign website. I bet you she announces it at the debate. That's my expectation. I don't have inside information. It's just what I think she's going to do. I think if she's waited this long and the debate is supposed to be Tuesday, what the heck's another 5 or 6 days? Don't put your policies out there. She can go out on that debate stage and walk us through each one of her policies, which she can refer to her website a billion times. Go to KamalaHarris.com, and you'll see that I have this, that, and the other thing. And then Donald Trump's not prepared, in theory, to punch back on specific points. But we should know. Donald Trump knows. Donald Trump knows what works because he's already done it before. The thing, I saw this post on Twitter last night, and I think it was about Donald Trump's first 100 days. And I want you to think about every piece of information that you've consumed from Donald Trump, like what's been put out there to try to color in your understanding of who he is, or your vision, or whatever of who he is. And Donald Trump is known as a fighter. And it's a combative kind of fighter. Like we know a lot of happy warriors in our life. And I don't look at Donald Trump as a happy warrior. I look at him as a fighter. And I can see how being a fighter in this realm right now and in this moment in time right now, it's very important. But there is a difference between being a fighter and being a happy warrior. And I think that when you consider that, we've never seen Donald Trump be positioned through media where the whole purpose of the media is to shine a light on the positivity that surrounds the idea of Donald Trump and what he's been able to do as the president, and again, what he would be able to do in the future. So this is an ad I'm going to play for you, and I want you to listen to this, and I want you to be in tune with how this makes you feel. Now, a lot of you listening right now, if Trump's saying it, you like it. I get it. But consume the whole body of this, because it is true that Donald Trump has done so many good things for so many people by giving America back to the people, that it's not something that is, in my opinion, prioritized by the campaign, because we're very engrossed in how dangerous Kamala Harris would be, that we focus more on the negativity of that than the positivity of what Donald Trump can do for us.
And that is the peaceful transfer of power. The 45th president of the United States is now Donald J. Trump.
He said, "I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never let you down." So we do have some breaking news, because while it is about celebration, it is also now about policy.
Oh, that's right, Aaron. President Trump went right to work. He went right into the Oval Office shortly after he departed from the review.
Is day two going to be as busy as day one? He met with business leaders. He met with union leaders. He signed a bunch of stuff. He fulfilled some campaign promises. What's left?
The pace over the past 10 days has been astronomical. Everybody in official Washington I talked to said, I cannot believe he's only been president for 10 days.
Dan, I think you got to admit they did a pretty impressive job rolling out this nomination.
This is how it's supposed to be done. I mean, this is done to the T, actually even more so than we've seen in the past. We're seeing the markets react positively. It is better than expected.
Consumer confidence rocketing to a 16-year high. Healthy job growth again for the month of February. So is this the Trump effect?
Oh, I think it is. I think there's no question that employers like Donald Trump a lot in his agenda, and I think the fact that he's just more pro-business from the previous administration.
The Dow still nearing all-time highs, just finishing the longest quarterly winning streak in 10 years.
Was by far the best speech I've ever heard Donald Trump give. It was one of the best speeches in that setting I've ever heard any president give.
He's repairing relationships with Egypt as well as with Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states. You know, they saw Trump yesterday talk about Iran violating the spirit of the nuclear deal. So this is clearly part of a long-term strategy to reorient American foreign policy.
The bottom line is he's done well. He has done a lot of the things that he promised, like appointing a Supreme Court judge, like getting out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, like cutting regulation.
He's done a really good job.
Well, he's pretty close to perfect, Sean.
Pretty close.
I'm serious. He has done more than any president in recent history, certainly in the last half century, in the first 98 days of his presidency.
I am asking all citizens to embrace this renewal of the American spirit. I am asking all members of Congress to join me in dreaming big and bold and daring things for our country. I am asking everyone watching tonight to seize this moment, believe in yourselves, believe in your future, and believe once more in America. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States.
So that was an ad put together for the first 100 days of Donald Trump's presidency. And if you watch that with us, the voices and the faces that you see praising, or even if they're not like thrilled with what it was that Donald Trump was doing, they were acknowledging that he was getting stuff done. And you think about like the way you can present that information, the successes that the Trump campaign can present of the Trump presidency. I want more of that. I want those ad buys where we just see the pretty colors and the nice music version of Donald Trump without having, do the hit ads on Kamala Harris. Okay. They're going to certainly do them on Donald Trump. Okay. But there is so much positivity and good to offer the American voter, the American taxpayer right now, the American mom, the American dad, the American grandparent who wants to make sure that they don't have to worry about what happens with their Social Security, and they know that Donald Trump is going to protect it, and that he is going to advocate for a competitive healthcare system, that he is going to advocate for the middle class and the taxpayer over the big government, where if you look at every turn from the alternative that you have to vote for right now with Kamala Harris, she has a big government taxpayer-funded solution for every problem you don't even know you have yet. The positivity that surrounds the Donald Trump second term is incredible. And that's like a 3-minute video. When I watched that 3-minute video last night, I was like, yes, this is it. I consume this and I go, yes, this is what we're trying to say to people when you're looking at Donald Trump and you think you know the guy because of what you've been told. I just want people to give it a second thought and a second look. And I think the Trump campaign, the RNC, should start by really pushing forward positivity. And you got to do it in video form. You got to do it on YouTube ads and in appearances where your message is a positive one. I don't know that Trump's going to follow my advice in that, but I don't think it's been tried yet. And I think that's where it needs to be. I'd say B/C.
Our hope is not in Donald Trump. Our hope is not in politics at all. I think we've made that clear. But people are desperate for hope right now. And to tap into that is a smart political move. To find the positives from somebody who is in the unique position to have already been president and take from his record, say, you remember this. Here's what we did. Here's what we're going to do again in some cases. That is a winning message.
In one of the video scenes in that video, Trump picks up an adorable baby, just as politicians are apt to do. And Frank on YouTube said, "Oh my God, Trump picked up a baby and didn't take a bite."
That is a funny moment.
Thanks, Frank.
In that he's just like, baby. I love babies.
That video, if you want to see the full video, is on my Twitter profile. I just retweeted it, so it'll be at the top. It's Annie Fry Show on X. Go check that out. Think that's a good video?
Yeah. Was that made at that moment? Or was that made recently?
I think it's an old video, and I think it was just made to champion his first 100 days.
Okay.
Man, my heart swelled
Yeah.
whenever I saw that.
Yep. Man, it's just weird to be like, we could be positive and happy about Donald Trump.
It is
and not
weird.
have to be super defensive about Donald Trump and angry at the other side. Like, you don't actually have to be. There's good.
And we don't do this. We don't do this enough where you can go, hey, everybody, you can feel good about this too.
Yeah.
We talk all intellectual about it all the time and try to hit you in those places where it does hit you, like in the pocketbook and that kind of stuff. We don't do this stuff.
We talk all intellectual. Yes, we do.
I specifically do.
Me do.
I try to bring it down a level because I'm just so academic about it.
You want to be about a man of the people.
Yeah. And I'm so Tower Noble.
Brad's playing the music. He's had enough.
I don't know why he is.
Tower Noble?
Yeah, I'm kind of a Tower Noble.
I'll Google that.
It's not a phrase. I made it up.
Let us know. I was probably going to find out something I didn't want to know. Let us know what you vote. Give him a grade. The Trump campaign strategy so far, what do you think? Tim said, I gave a B. I'm in education and have been told I grade harshly, but he should focus on issues and policies and stay away from personal attacks. And Paul said, I give him a B+. As long as he lets Harris sink her own ship, he's good. Stop with the name calling, but I think he should call her out on her new policies that he had first. Prayers to Georgia. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Michael's Flooring Outlet, they're online at igotfloor.com. Visit them. See what they're all about. Read their reviews. Learn about the products that they have. Learn about their locations. All the information that I can tell you here in 60 seconds. You can go to igotfloor.com and get the details. I really appreciate Michael's Flooring Outlet's partnership with us at 97.1 FM Talk. I've been with 97.1 since very, very early in 2009, and Michael's has been a staple in the 97.1 family, and that's really important because the Michael's family understands how to do flooring, understands how to make sure that you as a customer are treated the right way, and at 97.1 we care about family-owned and operated businesses, and we want to connect you with the very best of the best. That's Michael's Flooring Outlet. If you are interested in shopping for flooring, make sure that you connect with Michael's. They've got 3 locations around the St. Louis area for you to check out. They do business on both sides of the river, and you can learn all the details that you need to know by visiting them online at igotfloor.com.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
At Hampton Manor of Wentzville, they go the extra step to make sure their residents feel special. Mark Cox here from my friends at Hampton Manor. I recently stopped by there. You know, their veterans are celebrated with special recognitions, including special pastries created by their pastry chef. They have their own private chef. They'll even feed you lunch if you stop by for a visit at this great senior living community off the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. Schedule your appointment today at wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
I know we're all busy. We're working, we're running errands, trying to take care of the kids. It's really easy to put things off. One thing you do not want to put off, though, your annual eye exam. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates not only gave me the most thorough eye exam I've ever had, but they're also experts in the diagnosis and treatment of all diseases of the eye. Everything from dry eye to macular degeneration and cataracts. Think about this. Your eye health is the window into your overall body health. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry, they can look at your eyes and even tell in some cases if you have early stage diabetes, heart disease, lung problems, even some forms of cancer. They're called the doctor's doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. The best part about this is that most insurance plans cover the cost of your annual eye exam. Set up your appointment today, 314-966-5000. Again, 314-966-5000, or go to youridoc.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 on the Odyssey app on your phone. The easiest way to listen when you don't have a radio. For everything in the news.
Your home for conservative talk.
The Odyssey app. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Talk about this. I don't know exactly. I don't know much about this, and I'm going to put this clip up here. This might play sound. It shouldn't play sound, Brad. Do you guys remember there's a photo that was shared by the Navy? And this is something that was maybe it was months ago, I think. But this photo had... It was a U.S. Navy warship commander, and it was a close-up of him, and he was shooting a rifle, but the scope was mounted backwards.
No, I didn't see this.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
What do you remember from it?
I remember the dude looked completely out of water holding and shooting that gun, and I remember basically 2A Twitter going absolutely insane on this.
There is one way to ignite 2A Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
That kind of thing.
The thing is, and I hope I don't steal anybody's thunder, you don't just, like, that gun was prepped and given to him.
So it's just a photo op.
It's a photo op. But the question is, how does somebody in the Navy do that to their CO?
You know the answer to this. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are in charge.
Wow.
He's been the commander. That guy's been relieved.
No way.
Yes.
Oh,
so,
no.
I'll read for you this story here. I'm going to share this image up here so that you guys can follow along and look at this poor guy who has now lost his job. It's no bueno. I've got the image up on our live stream now. It's telling me I need to do something here. He's got the screw. It's like the enemy gets a really close up look at him, at his eyeball. It's just not good. It's not a good look. The Navy removed a post on its official Instagram account Wednesday, April 10th, showing a warship commander firing a rifle with a backwards scope.
Oh, look at the shells
But
in the air.
he is firing it, though.
They just
but he doesn't know what he's looking at, apparently. He's just firing
well,
into the ocean.
It just looked really far away.
Yahoo News, through the AP, reports the commander of a Navy destroyer that's helping protect the San Diego-based aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt in the Middle East has been relieved of duty about 4 months after he was seen in a photo firing a rifle with a scope mounted backwards. The image brought the Navy considerable ridicule on social media. I mean, like, if you're in the Navy, no, worse, if you're in the Army and you see the Navy's like,
yeah, buddy.
They don't even have the scopes on the right direction. The Navy's really going to be hurt by that because the Army is going to have a field day over it.
This is the first time I'm seeing this picture. That guy is not like just out of high school.
No,
this is a guy
This
who's
is a
been,
CO.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
he's in charge of a ship, or was.
No, he's not anymore. The image brought the Navy considerable ridicule on social media. The San Diego Union Tribune reported that Cameron Yaste, commanding officer of the destroyer USS, wait for it, John McCain, was removed on Friday. The Navy said Yaste was relieved of duty, quote, due to a loss of confidence in his ability to command the guided missile destroyer.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That's currently deployed in the Gulf of Oman. The statement didn't elaborate about why Yaste was replaced. In April, a photo posted on the Navy's social media showed Yaste in a firing stance gripping the rifle with a backward scope. The military news outlet Stars and Stripes reported that the Marine Corps took a dig at the Navy.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
You know it. Sharing a photo on his social media of a Marine firing a weapon aboard an amphibious assault ship USS Boxer. The caption read, "Clear sight picture." Isn't it so great that American capitalism and competition is so large that when the Navy screws up, the Marines like, we got this. We can win this. This is for us. We were made for this moment.
So it says that they didn't release why he was fired.
It's not this photo.
The
But
post featuring Yaste, well, I mean, it might be it might be an indication
Yes.
of his. The post featuring Yaste was ultimately deleted. Quote, "Thank you for pointing out our rifle scope error in the previous post." The Navy later wrote on social media, that ought to clear things up. Picture has been removed until EMI, which is extra military instruction, is completed.
Okay.
Yaste has been temporarily replaced by Captain Allison Christie, Deputy Commodore of Destroyer Squadron 21, that sounds sweet, which is part of the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group that's also in the Gulf of Oman. The Pentagon sent the carriers to the Middle East to be in position should Israel need help repelling an attack by Iran and other countries, if such a thing happens. The Roosevelt is the flagship of a strike group that was recently included 3 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, $2 billion vessels that are designed to shield carriers from attacks by air, sea, and land. This guy probably, I don't know anything about this guy other than, unfortunately, this picture, which is probably a very sad thing about what is likely a very respectable military career.
It would seem.
I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, like, someone handed him, like you said, Brad, handed him a picture and he put it up, or something to take, a rifle to take a picture with. It's kind of sad.
It is sad. What if we find out that they were actually protecting him? He wasn't actually fired because of this. That he was fired because they released the wider photo and they're like, okay, shoot out that way, and he turns the wrong way. Like, no.
I don't know. I do remember this image causing a bit of a stir. Here's another story that we can talk about, and this is one that was sent to me by one Ethan Hannaford out there. Tim Walz' family is not really a Tim Walz supporter. Have you seen this?
I have. It started with his uncle.
Yes, who I believe goes by Joe.
Or no, I'm sorry, not his uncle, his brother, who is a couple years older than him.
News Nation reports, Jeff, not Joe. Jeff Walz clarifies comments, tells News Nation he opposes Tim Walz' views. Jeff Walz spoke exclusively with News Nation's Rich McHugh. He is a registered Republican. Jeff Walz made the initial post to make clear his opposing views. I find this to be interesting. It's also not shocking that there are family members who disagree. And what does become shocking is that they would be wanting to be like super on the record about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Ryan Wiggins, if you ran for federal office, what percentage of your family would vote for you?
Immediate family, 100%. Extended family, I'll go 80. I'll go 80, maybe 70.
Brad?
I think I could get 90 of extended family, 90%.
Yeah? For you or for Ryan?
No,
I'll
that's
be
a
your
tall
running mate.
order to get it for Ryan.
I'll be your running mate. I'll
Yeah.
deliver Illinois for you.
85.
Who do you know in Chicago?
No kidding.
If we're talking my extended family, it might be 50%.
Wow.
I have a lot of people in my family who think differently. And, some of them have made more clear than others that they don't agree with me. But I presume that they're not listening. I know that there are people in my family who don't like me because of it. And then there are also people in my family who, it's an interesting time because they are fiscally conservative. They're not interested in social dictation of a political party that's going to tell you everything that you have to do, how you're going to live, who you're going to love, and all that stuff. And I'm like, then you should be voting Republican. Because if there's one party out there right now that wants to manage your life for you, it's not Donald Trump's Republican Party. It's the Kamala Harris Party. They're gonna infiltrate every crack in every surface to try to manage your life. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask some important people in my family what percentage they think. If it'd be over 50, maybe 55, just to give me a majority.
Doesn't that hurt you a little bit if you're Tim Walz or you're the politician, whatever it is, and your family decides to release a photo of themselves wearing your last name for your opponent? That's got to hit home pretty good. It would hit me.
You don't think there would be any indication to you beforehand, though, that you might have family members that would do that?
Yes. But for them to go on record and go ahead and here, I'm going to.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, they would, you understand what that relationship is like before that.
Yeah.
I'm texting my parents.
I think I'm making the phone call because I think unless it's so extended that I don't really have a relationship with these people. If they're people that I know, I see them at holidays and stuff, I'm calling Uncle Gary and I'm like, Gary, what are you doing? Hey, I knew you leaned left. And this isn't even true because my Uncle Gary is a real person. And I don't think he leans left.
Gary's going, well,
he's like, hey, second, wait.
You disparage my name.
Yeah.
He's definitely not voting for you.
Right, yeah.
Gary's running against you in the primary now.
Yeah.
Man, dang it. I'm sorry, Uncle Gary.
Yeah, I'm primarying you.
Does Gary listen to the show?
He might.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I know his son does.
Gary, I'm interested in doing a hit ad on Ryan.
My cousin Craig.
Call me.
I didn't mean that about your dad, Craig.
Does Craig listen?
Yeah.
Hi, Craig. I don't know. You think if you say 80% of your family would vote for you, is that parallel to their party preference? Or the fact that there are people who in your family who vote left, but they'd still vote for you because you're family?
I think it's mostly parallel to their party preference, but not entirely. There are some people who...
Give us the names of your Democrat relatives.
Absolutely not. Or I'll give you a fake one, like my uncle...
Schmeg.
Trey.
Trey's totally a Dem.
Yeah. His last name is Gowdy. No, not that one.
Trey, not Gowdy.
Trey, not Gowdy. My uncle Trey, not Gowdy.
You said 90%?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't feel that confident. I don't. I did have a family member. This is kind of a funny story. I did have a family. I hope it's okay that I am telling the story. And if he's listening right now, hi, thank you for listening. But there was a couple family members of mine that live in the Missouri side of the river where they got together and the one family member said to the other, and I've met this group of family before, but I have not spent a lot of time with them. And I think I've met them, family reunions and stuff. And he said to this other family member that I have that I see much more frequently, I was looking at Facebook and I'm like, why is Annie Fry playing cards with all my relatives? It's like in your family, buddy.
What?
He said that he'd been listening to my show for like years.
He didn't know he's related to you?
No.
What?
No.
Really?
He's like maybe my third cousin or something like that. So we're not in the same circles. We live in different places. But he's a fan of the show and was like, I've been listening to her for years. Why is she playing cards with my family?
That's funny.
Like, we should play cards together.
That's really funny.
It's a euchre going on.
That's like my uncle. My uncle listened to the show and he was talking to my aunt and he's like, man,
yeah.
Like that Annie Fry show. Do you ever listen to that? They're great. They're amazing. And they just got this new producer, Brad. And she's like, that's your nephew. And he's like, what?
That's
Hi, Uncle Brian.
It's so flattering, though, when you find out people aren't, like, obligatory listening. It's like, well, we know of 2 people.
Right.
There
right.
are 2 of you out there that are thankfully listening to the show, not because you're obligated. But then again, I think about 55% of my family would vote for me.
It still happens to me now sometimes, but I've been in radio long enough for enough years that the people who I did not know, because I've got a large extended family on both sides of my dad and mom in this area, that I've got cousins who, if they've married different people, I don't know their last names,
Sure.
And they would show up at events for radio and
Like,
go, hey, I'm your cousin. I'm like, well, great to meet you. Didn't even know.
Great. If you're ever interested in giving us feedback on the show, I'm always interested in learning. We've had this link out for people who follow us on our social media before, but I would love to get some of your feedback. If you're listening to us just straight over the radio, we love that. The Odyssey app, great signal coming in everywhere you go all the time, AUDACY. If you go to AnnieFryShow.com, there's a feedback form there. You can fill it out. Give us the honest scoop, especially about how you feel about Ryan. People always write nice things about Ryan, and sometimes I tell them.
Don't tell me about the bad ones.
I never do, Ryan.
Thank you.
They're never bad. They're all good. AnnieFryShow.com for that feedback form. Would love to hear from you. We'll give you the results of the YouTube live chat poll when we come back. Grade the Trump campaign strategy so far. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
RulerFoods.com was just bragging, I think it was yesterday, about the produce or the meat haul, I should say, that we got from Ruler Foods this past weekend. When I talk about savings at Ruler Foods, I mean it. We make Ruler Foods our destination for those big grocery trips because we save so much. You need to get ready for tailgating season. This is really what spawned the protein trip that my husband took this weekend because football season is in town. And apparently we had to smoke every kind of meat that exists for the Notre Dame football game on Saturday night. If you're looking to save for tailgating season, Jack's Pizza, 2 for $7. Get some of those Kroger chips. Remember, Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices. 3 for $5 for a 7.5 to 8 ounce package. 22-ounce Kroger chicken wings. Pretty sure those were in our house this past weekend, $6.99 each. And Kroger appetizers, $7.49 a piece. Save when you go to Ruler Foods. It is so smart to make that first pass through Ruler Foods. If you've never gone in and checked it out, do it for this weekend. You'll be glad you did. So will your wallet. Go to rulerfoods.com.
All right, we're in September. It sounds like it's early because we're just fighting with all the heat and getting our air conditioning fixed. But for all the early birds, a word to the wise, schedule and have your furnace checked and make sure it is ready for winter before all the slots get filled up and you'll end up having to wait, and you don't want your furnaces break the same as air conditioners, just different temps. An air conditioner will break when it's 100, your furnace will break when it's 0 and on the weekend. Do everything you can not to allow that to happen. Just give us a call. We'll put you on the schedule and get you a furnace check, make sure it's safe and ready to go at a very nominal fee. Call me, Bart Inman, at one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. And the only number for Missouri and Illinois is 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it's bartinman.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BEDSORE.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll is grade the Trump campaign strategy
What
so
were you
far.
just talking about?
No.
Off air?
We were just talking about Ruler Foods and how much we love it. And your meat
and
haul.
America. Liberty.
Grade the Trump campaign strategy so far. Don't try to go back and watch this and lip read. Don't do that, because I was on camera talking about this.
This is the best evidence that you need to go back and lip read.
The YouTube live chat poll, grade the Trump campaign so far. You have a couple minutes to this show is going to end in approximately 10 minutes. So
Like
you have
for good?
That, yeah. You have that long to let us know. And that's the last one. So you really need to vote in this one. 248. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon on a Wednesday afternoon getting set to go here after Fox News at 3. Unfortunately, we have to start with some somber topics. There was a school shooting outside of Atlanta today, and there are 4 deaths reported, numerous injuries. We'll have the very latest on that. Unfortunately, it seems we have way too many of these on my show, but it's all coming up. Hang in there.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Yeah, when you guys leave those feedback form results for us to go through, and we can take from that, for instance, something that if you go to anniefryshow.com, there's a feedback form that you can fill out. It comes to me, and I can use that to improve the show. Some people love X's and O's. Some people do not love X's and O's. I got one today that it was in all caps. We love X's and O's. But somebody told us that their favorite thing about the show is when we get joking around and laughing, and she's like said something about how she laughs so hard she pees. It's like, okay, I think that's a win.
Yeah, whenever you see somebody out just in the wild, you're shopping or whatever, and you see that they're just covered in pee, you just assume they're a listener.
And that's the Annie Fry. You ain't cool.
Yeah.
Unless you pee your pants. And listen to the Annie Fry Show. Can we make that a promo? Don't make that a promo. That's the promo.
Done.
Oh, man. There are... How many days? It's next Tuesday is the debate. Do you think that the debate is going to dramatically change the trajectory?
You gonna finish or?
I want to say it correctly.
Okay.
Of this race.
No, I don't think this one will. It could, but I don't think it will. The interesting thing about this debate is that Donald Trump really has only a little bit of downside. He's got mostly upside.
That's what Cahaly said.
That's true. He did say that. I was thinking that this morning,
You're
though.
just repeating what he said.
I just liked Robert C. Cahaly. He's so cool. He's a pollster.
Robert C. Cahaly.
He wears a bow tie.
Trafalgar. Go on.
So Kamala Harris has a lot to
Would you
lose.
please put your bow tie on?
I don't have my bow tie with me. I wear my Sodak shirt today. Kamala Harris could really come out of this worse and really not a lot better. So I guess she could silence critics a little bit. That would be her best performance. Here's the other thing, though. If it's a close debate, if you walk away from this debate, like a lot of them, and you go, my guy did pretty good, the other guy's side says, yeah, my lady did pretty good, whatever, then there probably will be one more debate. If one of them wins big, that's the last debate because they won't agree to another one.
You think? What do you think? Big
man. I didn't
movement?
think the last one would have a big big impact, and so I think that this one.
Who is the Democrat next candidate?
Right. I think
Tim Walz.
Oh
yeah.
No.
I think that
Jeff
Kamala
Walz,
Harris
not happy.
has to hit a home run in this. I think she has to hit a home run. I don't think she can get away with just surviving because the expectations for her are already higher than Biden because she doesn't walk around like a corpse. She's goofy. She makes people like cringe with her laugh and stuff like that. But she's not considered really in the minds of the American people completely and utterly incompetent.
The difference between 2020 and 2024, I think significantly, is that there really wasn't anything dramatic to vote against Joe Biden for. That is not the case this time.
No.
Being the not Trump candidate, he was the perfect beige, boring bleh, candidate where you're like, man, I'm not voting for Trump. I can vote for Joe Biden, fine, whatever. I don't even care if he's ancient. Whatever. I'm not voting for Trump, and I'm happy to not do it. When you go to do that, and it's like, but I'm voting for Kamala, there's a little bit of like, no bueno.
Yeah,
so I don't know that that's going to be the. I think that's going to be a big factor.
She's never been considered really that serious of a candidate, ever. And so this debate may show that. Even if she's giving perfectly rehearsed answers and the questions go right her way, she still just doesn't deliver them in a way that makes you confident.
Real quick before we go, a little bit of Dear Abby. You know how I love Dear Abby and Miss Manners. This is in the New York Post. I've been around Kendra since she was 4. I'm 59 and not married to her mother, although we are good friends. Kendra is 36 now and has an 8-year-old son. She lives with her boyfriend, who is her father. They are not married. We have a great relationship. For some reason, over the past 4 months, my feelings for Kendra have grown into an infatuation.
Uh-oh. Where's this going?
I mean, I have always loved her, but now I wish I was with her. I want to be with her. My feelings are strong. I would even marry her.
So, oh, okay. Well, I would assume that's what he was saying the whole time, but apparently it was different.
I know she loves me, but I doubt in the way I love her now. I don't want to destroy what we have, but it's killing me that I can't be with her. I have jealous feelings like a kid. I love her very much and would never do anything to hurt her. I guess I'm just a stupid old man thinking this way, but I can't help it. I can honestly say that I'm in love with her. I'm confused about what I need to do.
Ooh. Yeah, you don't want to sacrifice your relationship as neighbors.
The response is, what happened 4 months ago that changed your feelings about Kendra from the paternal ones you felt for 32 years? If you express to her the feelings you are harboring, you will blow the entire family apart. And an appropriate place to examine your feelings would be in the office of a licensed psychotherapist. Please don't wait.
I think that's probably the appropriate response.
What do you think you're going to get when, like, if you write that note to Dear Abby, do you think they're going to be like, you should shoot your shot, man?
Look, the problem is, this guy may have no bad intentions at all. He's just infatuated with somebody. But you've got to realize the social aspect of what you're doing.
There's no ending to that.
No,
that works.
It's not going to go well. I kind of feel bad for the guy, because if he is just like, there's nothing really wrong with what he's saying. It's just like, oh, he's just got an infatuation. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Go to the therapist.
I don't know if he needs to go to therapy, but it seems pretty extreme. I met a guy once that was in his mid to early 60s. And gosh, was that guy good looking. No.
Button-up pants.
He was going to the same restaurant over and over. And I don't remember why I was talking to him. I think he went to my church. And he was like, yeah, I wonder if I got a shot with that waitress. And I was like, I went to high school with that waitress. You don't have a shot with that girl. But I didn't know how to tell him that. I felt bad for him. I think I'm kind of projecting this on a Dear Abby guy.
Did you?
I told him, I don't know, man. I don't know if maybe that's going to work. But he was just kind of a lonely guy, super nice guy. Felt bad.
So you thought, I should tell St. Louis.
He's sitting in his car right now. Oh, no.
Oh, no, I didn't have a chance. That was 10 years ago. I'm still working up the courage.
It's not Cousin Craig, is it?
No, Craig's fine.
Uncle Gary.
YouTube live chat poll, grade the Trump campaign strategy so far. You were?
BC.
Brad?
BC.
And I am a BC. I want positivity. I'm still going to ask for it. I can ask for it. HW said, wish they would only concentrate on policy. I'm tired of the name calling as I am usually by August or September. And Andy said, B/C. I think he's out there too much. That's an interesting take. I don't know that Andy really is in love with the idea of seeing Donald Trump in general, so I could see how anything would be too much. The poll results, as they have come in so far, 5% of almost 300 votes said D, 19% said F, 20% said A, and 55% said B/C. So a solid 75% of you think it's a good passing grade. Let's see if up into the town hall tonight, if anything changes. We shall see. Mark Reardon with the latest on the tragedy in Georgia coming up next.
So Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com. Don't miss the historic Bronze Boots Soccer Clash, Sunday, September 8th at City Park. Catch SLU and SIUE men's and women's teams as they face off in this NCAA Division I soccer doubleheader. Get your tickets now at SeatGeek.com.
Stewart's American Mortgage. He's the bagel loan guy, and when you are looking to secure a mortgage, you want the very best deal for you. It's a big loan, probably the biggest loan you have. Why not go with the very best, the bagel loan with Stewart's American Mortgage, and make sure that you have really secured the best situation for yourself? The bagel loan is called a bagel loan because bagels look like zeros, and that's to remind you that you pay zero in closing costs that other lenders out there are going to charge you for. You can only get the bagel loan with Stewie, and I highly encourage you, when you are looking to purchase your next home, even if you're recommended to go to another lender, just go get a second opinion with Stewie and see how he can help you. You'll be glad you did. Another thing that he can do for you is a bagel loan refinance, which is what I have done twice with Stewart's American Mortgage because rates continued to go down. And as rates continued to go down, I refied twice to get a pretty sweet rate on my mortgage at this point in time. Reach out to Stewie at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440 and talk to him about the bagel loan. You can also text him at 314-324-4440 and make sure you let him know that Annie sent you. Google the bagel loan for more information. You can find him online there or on 314-324-4440, NMLS number 226715.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-76